All right, there we go. As back by popular demand. I'm your host, Witch Doctor. Special guest, Mandy Moorehol.
What up?
Lately, and we're going to dive straight into it. That's why I got the body armor on. Got to suit up for this shit. We're going to the walls of Troy.
Hell yeah, dude. Yo, Witch Doctor, before we get too far into it, I'm having that thing where my brain fart. What's the name for like the technical term? Like burning purple is it's a newly coined phrase. What's the technical term for that? Do you remember?
The one that I made up?
No, the technical term for a newly coined phrase. It's Oh,
I don't even know. Have I talked?
There's a technical term for it, and I can't.
When someone's recently coined something.
Yeah. Can you Google it real quick? Like, let's just because before it's gonna bother me, like if I can't fucking remember the technical term for a newly coined phrase, it's gonna bother the hell out of me.
I'm gonna chat GPT it.
Yeah, chat GPT will tell you. It's a neat. It starts with an N. Why is my brain fucking with me right now?
Let's do it together. Here we go. As we got the comments coming in, guys, I was going to have a co-host tonight, but we had, here we go. Cross Bible, Neologism.
Neo what?
It's on, can you see it on the screen?
Neologism.
It's got to be the best opening ever. We get Cross Bible right off the hit. We got Tiger Shark.
Anyway, I was trying to get you to say neologism, and then I was gonna say, haha, I made you say jism, but you ruined my joke.
Oh,
yeah, it's a great joke. It's a brilliant joke. You guys can use it. Feel free to use it anytime anybody ever says the word neologism. The proper response to that is, haha, I made you say jism. So
can I ask you a question real quick?
You can ask me whatever you want, man.
My good friend Stephen Nelson, my childhood friend.
Hey, buddy.
Crossbible.com. Everyone's heard how we met.
I know what the word neologism is. You see, I was doing that thing where you feign ignorance to try to
and then I say it, and then
just so everybody knows, I actually do know what the word neologism.
Yeah, Mandy's.
I'm steps and steps ahead of you. I'm playing chess, and all of you are just thumbtacks or whatever the fuck you guys are doing out there. Because
let's see.
Who we got? I'm not even looking at the.
I was going to ask you.
Yeah, what do you got to ask me?
What do you personally think about, and this isn't anything too crazy, just what if I love crossbible.com. Like, it is one of the best websites, the way that it's laid out, everything is absolutely
except for the color. Yeah, absolutely.
Is it Tyrian purple?
You just change the color, it'll be perfect.
You think it'd be good?
I think if you change the color, it'll be a perfect website.
Yeah.
All right. It'll be immaculate if you change the color to purple.
Likes my idea.
If you change the color to purple, it'll be immaculate. That'll be a funnier joke when you watch it the third time around.
So guys, you've had Mandy on the show before. We're gonna give him the floor a lot tonight, and towards the end, if we have time for anything cool, I might be able to get Tiger Shark in and whatnot. But I wanted to do something just with Mandy, just so there's been a lot of shit going on and whatnot. But anyway,
I'm just here to remind everybody that just do what you can to make Demeter laugh. We'll have another crop next year, and then we can try again all over again. You know what I mean? So if you're not actively trying to make Demeter laugh, then you're actively trying to not make her laugh, which means that you are fighting against humanity as a whole, which makes you an amazingly unethical person. You know what I mean? Just remember to laugh, guys. It's comedy, it's satire, it's jokes. You know what I mean? That's what makes the world go round. If you know anything about the mystery rights.
I'm still learning a lot. I've tried to be real transparent about it. Now, in the beginning of when I first made the channel, it was more presentation style, like Seaman, which I actually like his videos, his personality, the way he delivers everything he says from an artistic perspective. And I don't necessarily, not everything that he says am I gonna but there's a lot of things that he talks about that he presents well, you know.
And how many of you know, Ammon's most staunch defenders constantly say he's wrong. You know, I mean, I've been saying Ammon's wrong for 3 years, but you know, apparently Richard thinks that I'm, you know, one of his biggest defenders. You know what I mean? Who would have thought? Who would have thought?
I don't think I'm cool enough to be talked about yet, but
no, definitely not.
Today, we're gonna watch a video later. And,
yeah. But you know, I think you know, would be really fun to do right now is to let everybody know how we met, because you've been doing that on your show so often. You know what I mean? Like you've been doing those shorts about, you know, how we met and everything. So you know, everybody doesn't know that me and Witch Doctor, we go way back. We're actually part of the same we're initiated into the same cult. It's called the cult of the Flower Munchers. And Witch Doctor's actually, Witch Doctor's been our high cardinal of the cult of the cult of the Flower Munchers for a very long time. And as the high cardinal of the cult of the Flower Munchers, it's Witch Doctor's responsibility to once every moon cycle celebrate Shark Week. So you know what I mean? Yeah, right. It's that, and it's like it's very funny how far back we go. People don't know that we've been initiated into the same cult. And you were actually a late bloomer. I've been in since I was 17. You or actually 13. You joined when you were like 17. So you were a little late to the party, which is pretty fun. We got to, you know, kind of haze you a little bit. You know what I mean? But I know, and it's you know, it's an honor to be the high cardinal of the cult of the Flower Munchers, you know.
It gives you a purpose.
It does. You have to celebrate Shark Week once every moon cycle. You know,
if not more often, you know.
I mean, if you know, if munching rosebuds, munching more, hell yeah. But anyway, obviously we don't know, we're not part of the same cult. Obviously that was a lie that I did to, you know, exaggerate.
Obviously, lie to you.
Yeah, no.
Totally
but really though.
Why do you think I have these goats?
But really, though, I mean,
I'm just playing.
Also, everybody wants in on the joke, right? The esoteric meaning of the cult of the Flower Munchers basically just means that, you know, Witch Doctor, as the high cardinal, once every moon cycle eats edibles and watches Shark Week on the couch and does nothing for 7 days and 7 nights. Duh. That's the esoteric meaning of the high cardinal of the cult of the Flower Munchers, right? Like, obviously, right? Obviously.
We got because here right now. Well, not everybody, but you know what I mean. Everybody's jumping on. Oh, it's great. We want to, in the beginning of these live streams, sometimes it's good to kind of wait a minute to get everybody here, and then pick it all up. So
I'm just pacing myself. But really, let's break that one down for a second. The cult of the Flower Munchers. You are the high cardinal, and once a month, right? Once every moon cycle, you celebrate Shark Week. Now, just imagine, you know, we take this joke and we just start running with it. We start telling all of our friends. Every time we meet anybody, we say, "Oh yeah, we're in the same cult, the cult of the Flower Munchers, blah 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 blah," right? And then people come at us and say, "Oh yeah, you know, I know what it means, right?" And if they said something even like remotely not right, you would say, "Guys, it's all about the color of the cardinal's wings." That's all it's about, right? It's all about the color of the cardinal's wings. It doesn't have to do with eating edibles and watching Shark Week. It's euphemisms, right? You follow me, you're following me, right? Yes. And so you know, imagine somebody says, "Oh, well, you know, I get it. A cardinal's wings are red, blah, 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 blah. Who cares? It's red wings. That's just a neologism that you guys created." What's the proper response when anybody says neologism? Ha, I made you say jism. Follow along. Keep up, everybody. So
we got
I made you say jism. Now, imagine you go, "Well, guys, like, you know, I get that you're doing this neologism thing, red wings. That's like the whole thing. You know, it's a thing that's meaningful within your guys' silly little cult, right? Obviously, I know that because when you go to websterdictionary.com, can you pull up websterdictionary.com and share your screen? Pull up Webster Dictionary or Webster.com, whatever that is, right? Webster.com.
I got you. Let's
yeah. And we'll do it live. Webster.com.
Got it, man. Share screen. Nope, that's share. Share screen. Merriam-Webster. Share. All right, so what are we looking at?
Right. So right in that little search tab there, type the word Red Wings.
One word?
Yeah, whatever. One word. Red Wings, 2 words, doesn't matter. See what pops up. Anything? Oh, it just means a bird, right? It just means a bird. Like I said, a cardinal. That's cute. Look, we obviously just made up a neologism that actually doesn't mean anything. You know, it's just a meaningless word that you guys created just, to make funny ha-has in your thing, right? Now, everybody at this point is in on the joke, right? I'm not looking at the chat, but you're in on the joke. Everybody's in on the joke. What if I tell you there's a proper lexicon to use to find out what the jokes mean? Do you know what that proper lexicon is, Witch Doctor? urbandictionary.com. Pull up urbandictionary.com. Let's go to the proper lexicon to find this terminology. Pull up urbandictionary.com, share the screen. Let's share the screen. Now, take a look at what the word Red Wings means. It's all about the Cardinals' wings, right? It's all about the Cardinals' wings. Red Wings means to do what?
Oh, yeah. Okay. I could have.
Yeah. So once a month, as the high cardinal of the cult of the flower munchers, your responsibility is to celebrate Shark Week. Do you know what Shark Week means? Take a look. Type Shark Week into the Urban Dictionary. Let's take a look. Shark Week. Drum roll, please.
Oh, I know.
Oh, yeah, of course. You're the high. Look at that. Shark Week. So once every moon cycle, you celebrate Shark Week as the high cardinal of the cult of the flower munchers. That's how you properly dissect this stuff, right? That's how you need the proper lexicon to get the proper results. Is that obvious to everybody by that little analogy that we just did?
Yeah, I if I can understand it, I'm sure the audience, everybody.
Right. Now, would it surprise you? Would it surprise you if a lot of the anti-Ammon, craziness is because they're trying to find the word Red Wings in the dictionary, right? The Webster dictionary, when they should be using the Urban Dictionary, which has all of the terminology? Would that surprise you? Would that clear up a lot of the problems? Would that, maybe Ammon isn't as crazy as he seems. Maybe you guys are using the wrong dictionary. Would it surprise anybody that I've had the dictionary for 15 years and you guys haven't? You guys are just now finding out that this is a thing. Just now, this very second, are finding out that there's a equivalent of the Urban Dictionary for ancient Greece. What?
I had never thought about that.
No, it didn't cross your mind. It didn't cross your mind.
Even with my mom's vast library of all kinds of alternate shit. Even today at my VA appointment, I had, the Jesus living after the crucifixion story, brought that with me. I haven't read the entire thing just because after 2/3 of the book, you're like, okay, I get it,
Right. But none of this is a secret, right? This has been known. Like anybody who is a classicist, who has been who has gotten, literally anybody who's a classicist should know this lexicon, but they do not, because I do not know why. Now I've had conversations in the past week with my friends who are, been slandered as Ammonites. Guess what? In casual conversation, they're recalling this particular text just because it's that influential. And you guys are missing a massive chunk of it. And I'm going to say this one text alone, just this one text, will explain 87% of Ammon's theory. 87%. And I will go even so far, because I'm not an Ammonite and I don't support Ammon. I will say that the fact that he doesn't talk about this more often, he only cites it once in the Chemical Muse. He only cites his fucking main lexicon that has 87% of his shit once. And it's in passing one single time. Why? Because it has pivotal things, critical things in here that disagree with him. and disagree with his theory. And it absolutely blows my mind. But 87% of what he is saying is in this book, and y'all don't have access to it. And that's your fault, not mine. I've been screaming at the top of my lungs. It's satire. It's comedy. It's satire. It's comedy. It's theater. It all comes from the mystery rights. It's satire. It's comedy. It's theater. It comes from the mystery rights over and over and over and over and over and over and over. And people have been saying, oh, Mandy Moorehol doesn't know what he's talking about. Like Richard Carrier had the audacity to say that I'm just some guy, on the sidelines who's irrelevant. Like I was on fucking Neil's show 3 years ago explaining this shit and you guys weren't listening. And now you have all this shit and this absolutely crazy like dossier has been passed around about Ammon. Like, why do I know more about him and his ex-wife's problems than me and my ex-wife's problems? You know what I mean? Like, I know more about Ammon's ex-wife than I know about my ex-wife. Right. Why? Right? Like, and nobody stopped and think like, hey guys, like, why do we have this about this guy? Like, what's going on? It's just no, Ammon's gross. Ammon's nasty. He's making excuses for this. He's doing NAMBLA. It's like, fuck you guys. Like, absolutely fuck all of you. Every single one of you. The only person that has any integrity that is in any of these fucking circles is my buddy Neil. Period. Plain and fucking simple. The rest of you are all fucking hacks, and you should be embarrassed for not knowing about this shit. And I'm going to show you, and there's going to be egg on all of your fucking faces. Fuck every single one of you. Yeah.
I mean, here's the thing. Because
you're surrounded by dullards. You're surrounded by absolute dullards.
Well, my mom had all this other stuff growing up, like the just alternate theory, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And, or just simply just a lot of the South American, because anthropologists, they're always into the drugs. They just always are. That's kind of the thing. They shouldn't do them, but she did talk to Dr. Schultes on the fucking phone in the 90s. That's like me talking to a Mr. Olympia or something. You know what I mean? It's like one of the guys that, he's a big deal. He was the ayahuasca dude pretty much of this whole world. He was the guy that brought all the knowledge of that up. But none of this stuff, when I started to watch some of the material, I was like, okay, I get the character right away. Right away. And I was able to accept the character so easily. I don't know if it's from being at School of the Arts where you have characters like this in your classrooms because they're a fucking theater major or they're a creative writing major. Yeah. Or they're and so living in this, I know I look like a conservative dude or whatever, but like, I got the guitars and the lights and everything. The whole art thing for me, it shows you a lot of stuff, and there's stuff they can't share with you. But there's an appreciation for the mockery of the religion, period. Yeah. So the problem that I'm having with and I haven't done a good job explaining really anything, but the problem I'm having, or that I'm noticing, is that the people that don't like his stuff, they don't get it. And what the get it is he doesn't like the church. So he does stuff to piss people off. And in a minute, we're going to talk about one of the sources that has the perfect representation. I mean, when I started reading this dude, I was like, oh, this is Hillman 101. If there was a class on him, bro, but not that having a book about it makes anything when there's a comical edge added to like this quip here or this quip here, it shifts and it alters as he's in the character. And the only reason I know that is because I have the same freaking thing he's got that allows you to entertain something just to piss someone off. And he wants the reaction. Like when people knock on my door asking if I'll come to church, I've had situations where I'm like, hey, let's take a look at something. And I start showing them my books. And they're just like, the head implode. And it's, Christians would call it a demon. It's like you got a demon on hold of you. And every time somebody that you want to agitate comes around, you take the opportunity. Yeah. It's arrogant. It's narcissistic, sociopathic. 1000%, and I have been transparent about that personality trait this whole time. But that's where I understand Hillman, and not to even defend the guy because he fucking put a picture of me up with makeup on my face or whatever the hell. So it's just, guys, what he's saying, all of this shit existed back then. It's just what he's doing with the Christian edge is he's making that the thing. And today I was watching that video, which we'll talk about a little later, and I'll the floor back. But it was kind of a relief. But I've obviously I have one huge question, which could kick off the whole thing for today, which is we have one real quick. It says, can we get Mandy to debate Carrier, please? It would be so perfect. Yes, we can.
Look, Richard Carrier has made being a mythicist so fucking difficult in the past 10 years. Like, I resent that motherfucker for his books and his scholarship on Jesus mythicism. And the most ironic part about it is that Jesus mythicism was invented, what we know about it, what we know of it as now, was invented by a satirist for the purpose of fucking chaos apples, just throwing chaos apples at the Christian church. And he got canceled.
I'm ignorant.
Yeah. Have you ever heard of Bruno Bauer?
No.
Bruno Bauer was a student of Hegel, who was a philosopher in the 1800s, from Germany, right? He was a German philosopher, Hegel. Hegel was also a satirist. He wrote one of his most famous books, Sitting on the Toilet, as a parody of Martin Luther, who wrote the thesis and stapled it to that. He wrote that on the toilet as well. So Hegel, being the absolutely hilarious satirist, he wrote his most famous books, Sitting on the Toilet, and was famous for giving these absolutely like crazy, bizarre lectures and shit. So from Hegel spawned the young Hegelians. Right. Part of the members of the young Hegelians were such famous people as Karl Marx. You've heard of that guy, right? Karl Marx.
You mentioned as a satirist. The first episode.
Okay. Exactly. And Engels. Yeah, he was also there. And Max Stirner. Yeah, he was also there. And Bruno Bauer. Also Feuerbach. All of these guys, all of these satirists. I call it the German Silly Billy School of Philosophy. Many people call it the young Hegelians, which is perfectly fine. That's what they called themselves, sort of, right? It was a drinking club where they sat around and they make fucking hilarious jokes and came up with satire that was anti-Christian and anti-bourgeois, anti-imperial, all of those things that everybody loves now, all of the things that any proud American, life, liberty, and equality, and all of those things. That's what the young Hegelians were making their satire fighting for. You know what I mean? They're Karl Marx's satire is fundamentally about equality and fraternity and the rights of everybody and everybody's equal rights, right? But you in your mind, most people think Karl Marx is this fascist guy and the blah 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 blah. It's like, no, guys, Karl Marx was telling jokes, right? He references Horace 7 times in Volume 1 of Capital, and most people don't know that. And they're worse for it. You know what I mean? They're worse for it.
All they would say is like, "Oh, he's a communist," or whatever. And I don't know shit.
No, you don't know shit.
I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I don't know shit.
But Karl Marx's dissertation advisor was Bruno Bauer, right? Read Karl Marx's dissertation. It's fucking brilliant, dude. He takes Epicurus and Democritus and does what Nietzsche does with Apollo and Dionysus. It's absolutely fucking brilliant. This is pure German Silly Billy School of Philosophy at its best, taking two things and opposing them and coming up with an entirely new structure out of that juxtaposition. That's what Nietzsche did. Nietzsche was also a satirist and a philologist and a doctor, right? A satirist, philologist coming out with a medical background, whose entire body of work was satire. Friedrich Nietzsche. Everybody knows Friedrich Nietzsche.
Yeah, that's everybody does. Thrown out of everyone's mouth when this topic comes up.
Yes, everybody knows Friedrich Nietzsche. Everybody does, but most people don't know that his entire body of work is satire. And then his very last book was basically him doing the Penn and Teller cup and balls trick with clear cups, showing you how he's been fucking with his audience the entire time, right? And that's in a tradition that goes way back. Galileo did the same goddamn shit. Galileo's book that got him got Galileo canceled. It's the dialogue concerning two world systems or something along the lines of that. I think most of the words are there.
System.
Yeah. The dialogue, right?
It's a dialogue. That is right, but I've heard people talk about like boring documentaries and stuff.
Sure. But most people won't tell you that that is a work of satire, and it's the satire that got him canceled because it's an anti-church satire, right?
Oh,
yeah. So
bro, it's everywhere.
It's everywhere, but most people don't know where to.
It's a form of rebellion in a way that wouldn't get you killed, just in trouble.
Exactly.
That's what music has been. That's what the paintings, Michelangelo putting a eunuch across Mary's fucking lap, is him saying, fuck you. You killed the guy who showed me how to be a damn painter and a sculptor, because he didn't like the church and he didn't want to do shit for the Pope anymore or whatever the fuck. So he would put this stuff in there. They didn't want him to write his freaking name on the sculptures. So he snuck in and carved that bitch in there anyway. It's like, I like that, but it's a form of rebellion to put little hidden things like what's in the Sibylline oracle's hands on the Sistine Chapel. Do you see what he's drawing there? Anyway, but go ahead.
But here, so the observation that you're making is absolutely it's hard for a lot of people to get through, because they have this idea that satire is a genre and they want to apply genre hermeneutics to it. But that's a problem, because satire is a mode of communication and doing art. It is not a genre. There are genres and styles of satire, but satire itself is an adjective. It's not a noun, right? It's an adjective. It's a thing you do. It's a mode, right? Does that make any sense? Am I going over your right? That's basically what you were saying, is that satire. Satire can be a painting. Satire can be a song. Satire can be a poem. Satire can be a movie. Satire can be, performance art.
Bill Clinton in the blue dress.
Yeah. It can be a paint. Yes.
Yeah, it's or the shadow of Monica in the background of the one in his house.
Dude, I mean, that's the thing, dude. The way that satire manifests is it gives it, when it's given the opportunity to do it, right? It's an adjective. It's not a fucking noun, right? That's the problem that people are making. It's not a genre. There are genres of satire, right? If you can't get that through your thick skulls, that satire is a mode and there are genres of satire, you're completely fucking hopeless, and your opinion about this subject does not matter one bit, right? It does not matter one bit. Like, you're wrong. You're absolutely wrong. You're fucking up. You're basically doing the Red Wings is just a neologism. You know the proper response. Man, you know the proper response. I've loaded you for it 3 times now. You'll get it this time. Red Wings is just a neologism. I'm feeding you the joke. We're gonna nail it one time. Somebody's gonna get the clip. We're gonna do it one more time, and you're fucking up because you're the guy doing the Red Wings is a neologism. Haha, I made you say jism. God damn it. One of these times we're gonna get it. By the end of the show, I'm gonna get you to nail that joke.
Actually say neologism.
Yeah, and we're gonna nail the joke. But anyway, what we're doing right now is called a diatribe, right? Are you familiar with the term diatribe?
Yeah, I was just watching Jevon's video when y'all were breaking that down.
Exactly. So a diatribe is one of the satirists' most favorite ways of communicating. It comes out of cynicism. It's shaggy dog stories where you can just go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. And the point is the going on and on and on and on, right? It's not the context that you're doing or the content necessarily. It's you're throwing stuff at the wall and you're doing this and you're doing that. You're flamming, your ups and your downs and you're this and you're that. It's the mixing and all of that. That's the point of the diatribe. And if you don't know what a diatribe is, right? Like, how are you even like reading the goddamn Bible? Because Paul does diatribes. Like, Paul is he's doing diatribes. That stuff comes out of cynicism. That stuff comes out of satire. So right there in the book, it's a guy doing satire, and it's Paul. I don't even believe Paul's a real guy. He's just a made up character. And there's great scholarship on that still.
I saw the dudes talking about how it's it's fake, on all the channels, all of them.
Everybody's saying that Paul wasn't real, and it's just pseudonymous fucking letters.
All kinds of so many of the things that people who were an atheist in 5th grade were saying any fucking way. They just didn't know the sources to justify the thinking, and it's it's not like it's insane to just assume something might not be true just because too many things are out of place or whatever. It's just, is that a fucking crime? Like, God, dog. But,
so I think we've gotten enough of an intro here. I think everybody's on board. Everybody's prepared. Everybody knows that I'm not just some random guy who's, talking shit, doesn't know what he's talking about. You know what I mean? I'm literally one of the most influential satirists on the planet. Do you know what I invented? Do you know this is a true story. Do you know what I invented?
I don't.
It tells me that you haven't read my book yet. It's in my book. I invented.
I have been. I just haven't.
I know. I'm giving you.
I got a new baby, man.
I know. You should be reading it to the baby, is what I'm telling you. There's lots of poop jokes in there that you can appreciate now that you are dealing with them that you couldn't when you were just reading about them. But anyway, I invented one of the most influential online jokes in the past 30 years, and probably one of 3 Pauls, 1 Cup, hell yeah, probably one of the most influential satirists in the past 50 years, right? I invented Rickrolling. You know Rickrolling, right? Never Gonna Give You Up. You send somebody a link to a song, and then and then you get Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley. I invented that. Yes, yeah. And then they did it at the Thanksgiving, at the Macy Day Parade once. You know what I mean? Like, I'm the guy who invented that joke, right? I invented it in the year 2000 at the LNG in New London, Connecticut. I'm giving you the exact time and place where it happened, right? You can go and ask anybody who was at the punk rock scene about me. You got to know my actual government name to know that, but people do know me as Mandy. But I would go around and make these fake cassette tapes, making fun of the band 25 to Life. I know you probably don't know them, but
I've heard about them.
Yeah. You can look up some of the videos, like what the hell is 25 to Life singing about? Yeah, but the singer in the band his name's Rick to Life. Right. So what I would do is make these fake 25 to Life cassette tapes, and it would say ridiculous shit like 25 to Life, Jamie Josta, the singer from Hatebreed, on saxophone, 1992, Alabama. Right. Like, just the most ridiculous shit that, you know what I mean? Like, and I would leave them on the toilet. Right, in these dirty ass punk rock rooms, like punk rock clubs all around the country, like CBGB's. I left one at the CBGB's bathroom, dude. Right, that's notoriously a terrible bathroom. But if you were there and you looked at it and you went 25 to Life, Jamie Josta on saxophone, 1992, Alabama. What the fuck, right? And then you went and you put that into your, and you could find a cassette player at the time in the early 2000s. No one had them, right? No one had them still. So if you had a working one in your car, you would put it in your tape player, and one song from the band 25 to Life would play, and then after that, it would be Never Gonna Give You Up by Rick Astley on loop. Over and over for the rest of the cassette, right? Absolutely hilarious bait and switch. It's Rick rolling off of the name Rick, and it came 7 years before. What if you Googled it and you looked online and said it was like the 2007 or some shit like that? No, I did that in the year 2000, and it was an analog esoteric punk rock joke, and I did it over and over and over. I also did it with the band Screwdriver, which is a notorious Nazi punk band. So if you were on like LimeWire back in the day and you went to download, you were inclined to download music from the Nazi punk band Screwdriver, what you would end up downloading is the band Swerve Driver, which is like a shoegaze band from England. Like, completely not what you would be looking for. Like, the best bait and switch ever, dude. And I've got a friend who worked for Kanye West. And he was at the studio. They were working on one of his albums, and he goes, "Hey man, check out this band that I'm gonna sample on the next album. It's gonna piss a lot of people off. They're called Screwdriver." And he turns it on, and it's a Swerve Driver song. So my joke from when I was a kid on LimeWire ended up on a Kanye West album. Because he thought he was sampling Screwdriver, and it was actually Swerve Driver. Like, dude, I've got no reason to make this shit up, dude. I'm a notorious internet troll, man. So for Richard Carrier, you'll see it. For him to write off the idea that, hey guys, like the most infamous satirist, in our lifetimes is telling you that this Ammon guy is doing satire, that carries some weight, dude. Like, that's better than having a PhD in this shit, man. Like,
Right. So so you were talking about this book, The Immaculate Muse.
Yeah, we're gonna get into it, man. This is Ammon Hillman's fucking muse. When he says he's got a muse, this is the equivalent of the Urban Dictionary. This is what he's using to build all of his material. He's standing on the shoulders of giants. And basically, when people are, criticizing Ammon about being wrong, they're throwing great scholarship out with Medea's bathwater, and it's a goddamn shame, and they should be like absolutely drugged for it and made fun of and mocked relentlessly. So that's obviously there's I'm not a part of the Ammon cult, so there's not going to be like a non-Ammon group of satirists that are going to be barking at these people. It's just me telling you that you're a bunch of fucking dummies. But yeah, let's pull this up here real quick. Let me see if I can do that thing where I share my screen. Is that something you do? Hey, check that out. Any way we can make it a little bigger? Is that something I can do?
If you can zoom in or change the setting with
yeah. No, not that one.
But you know how it is. Sometimes there's a
yeah. Let me see.
Is
that better? Is that better? Look at me. I'm a notorious neo-Luddite. So anyway, this is the source material. This is the source that all of you people have been missing for the past 3 years. Everybody should have already known this, and everybody who's in Ammon's circle from day one pretty much already knew this. This is the Immaculate Muse by Jeffrey Henderson. Jeffrey Henderson is a brilliant scholar, absolutely brilliant. I think he's actually colleagues with Carl Ruck at BU. And this was written in 1975. All right. And what I want to do is just toss out a couple of words there. I want to treat this as like a science experiment, right? As you would, right? You would just go, oh, well, if it's Ammon's, if this is
journalist thing,
yeah. If this is Ammon's source, if this is really Ammon's source, then there would be something about, this word or that word or this word or that word. You know what I mean? And then we're going to find the burning purple, and everybody's going to look like idiots. And then you can finish your book because you'll know where the burning from the burning purple comes from, and you'll have a scholarly citation to finish your book. This is what it's all been about. This is exactly
the gold at the end of the rainbow.
And who would have thought the funny guy on the internet that has been screaming at the top of his lungs, it's satire, it's comedy, you dumbasses, is the guy that's going to help you finish your book. You've had all of these guys with PhDs throwing their ideas out there, and none of them have been helpful at all. And you go, guys, I think you're missing something. That's what they've been missing.
I get what y'all are saying. I totally get it. I got it the first time. Not that they're talking to me in these videos.
so let me just kind of explain to your audience what the Immaculate Muse is, right? This book is basically a lexicon of all of the dirty words from Attic comedy in ancient Greece. So going through Aristophanes' work and other Attic comics and finding all of the dirty words, the words about pussies and the words about cum and the words about dicks and the words about poop and all of the dirty things that Ammon talks about on his show. And it does one better. It explains that all of it comes out of the mystery rites, right? So from Eleusis, from the Iams, from Samothrace, all the one with the island with the ladies with the smelly pussies, Lemnos, right? That one, the Lemnos rites. Yeah, it's if you haven't read Jason and the Argonauts, that's the first stop that they make is the island with the ladies with the smelly pussies. This is classic ancient Greek mythology. It's Jason and the Argonauts, my dude. So what this book does is goes through all of Aristophanes' work and finds all of the words that have to do with all of the dirty stuff and ties them into the mystery rites as well as the medical terminology, because those are the two places that the words from the mystery rites have been maintained, is the Attic comedy and the medical terminology, right?
Roger.
So to test this, right, we would do some common things where you would do, say, let's control F. Let's search for the word. I'm sorry. Let's search for the word medical, right? MEDICAL, medical. Hey, let's take a look at the first thing that comes up. You want to read this one here? Let's just read it from the tippy. Can you read it out loud to your audience?
I can't see it. It's too small.
It's too small, huh?
If you could zoom in to where the papers.
How's that? So.
Yeah, good.
So. Certain words. Start from certain words and read it all the way down, and I'll keep going.
Okay, certain words that have the directness of primary obscenities seem to have developed a more or less innocuous tone. Let's see.
Greek squiggly lines. Just say Greek squiggly lines.
Wee, or a small person or child. Waggler, compare English dingle or boogie, but both sexes. These were, Steve, cross my, I don't know how to say it.
Don't worry about it.
If used in sexual context, have a most of tone and affectionate lubricity. They stand at a distance from the effective primary primacy of theos and its company. All have entered everyday speech. In cult, as medical terms, can mean a style or eyelid, as hypochoristic household words. I'm not going to read it just so I don't butcher it. Meaning little boy, as figurative words. Boogie, as fat, swelling of the tail. Such uses indicate that these words have been allowed to develop with the rest of a child's language into the period of latency, unlike the arrested primary obscenities, and thus to take on nuance and a certain metaphorical flexibility capacities of the developed mind. The amusement they occasion is the amusement of an adult mind looking back from a distance toward the directness of childhood sexuality. Primary obscenities, on the other hand, momentarily strip the adult mind of its distancing powers and create an actual regression.
Great. So basically what he's talking about is how these mystery rites had to do with the changes of life, right? So they were like, what's the word I'm looking for? Like your quinceanera, your bar
mitzvah,
exactly, your bar mitzvahs, like they were things that you. Yes, the mystery rites, these rituals came from, you know, these rites of passages over time, right? Over your lifetime, right? So as you were an adult, you were able to reflect on how you related to those mystery rites when you were a child, right? How you're in a different position now, but it's the same ritual, right? Does that make any sense? So within the medical context, a lot of these words were maintained, as well as the household context, as well as in the plays and various poetic contexts, right? Pretty straightforward, nothing controversial. No one's ever going to argue that would be wrong, right? We're going to go through here again and have another example of how these things have to do with the medical terms, right? So you have the medical term for a penis gland. It has, in Aristophanes, it has a double entendre. It's highly sophisticated jokes having to do with sexual intercourse, right? Let's keep just scrolling through and seeing what else they have to talk about with the medical text. So number 43 here, the word for barley corn. We're getting into the actual lexicon here, right? So it gives examples of how this has been used by medical writers to mean to mean eyelids, right? But in the context of the Attic comedies and of the satires, it has a sexual connotation. Okay. Look at that. It means pubic hair and erect phalluses and all sorts of things. Isn't that interesting? Words that come out of the mystery rites and all the medical terms also have to do with dirty words that are used in Attic comedy. So the medical stuff, the Attic comedy, and the dirty words, they're all related. And this is all sound scholarship. So let's just keep going through. Oh, hey, look, the word peg has to do with medical prose, and it has to do with a erect phallus. Is that interesting? Look, there's all sorts of sarcastic jokes and all sorts of things. So we're just going through and using our Ammon brain, right? Oh, hey, there's this other word here that has to do with twin companions, and it's a euphemism for testicles that's used by medical writers. Isn't that interesting? A word that has one usage in Attic comedy coming out of both the medical rites, or the medicals, and the mystery rites maintained. Isn't that interesting? Let's just keep going through some more and see what else. Hey, look, words for the fucking grundle, the Gaza strip, your perineum, the space between your anus and your genitals. The medical terminology is neck or gullet. But in the comedy, if you heard somebody say neck or gullet, it can also mean your gooch. It can mean your chode, the Gaza Strip, the space between your asshole and your ball sack. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. There was a Greek word for it, and it was the same word in medical terminology that they use for neck. Do you see where I'm getting at, right? How all of this stuff. Look, here's another one. Here's another one that has been used against Ammon repeatedly. Would you like to read this paragraph right here where it starts with we? Read it out loud for the people, because if you've been following along, if you read Richard Carrier's article, if you watched that lady, I'm not going to punch down because now I got Richard Carrier to punch up. So we'll just focus on Richard Carrier for now. Richard Carrier gives this example of how Ammon is wrong. Read it for everybody. Please, please, please read it for everybody.
We must therefore consider a secondary meaning of kolpos, other than the usual bosom. It seems that kolpos could also indicate the vagina, a meaning explicitly attested in later medical writers such as Rufus, Soranus, and Sextus Empiricus, all of whom derived their terminology and definitions from much earlier writings. Pollux identifies these earlier writings as those of Hippocrates, however you like to say it, Hippocrates himself, Hippocrates, sorry, God, dog.
Nailed it. You're going to get it.
I'm like, I'm getting dyslexic. Here we go. It's showing. We may therefore presume a 5th century use of kolpos in this sense. Such a general usage, like the more common meaning bosom, folds in the garment or gulf, or derives from the word root notion of any hollow place and corresponds to its use, describing other bodily cavities as well, not only the womb, but also the ventricles of the heart and the abdominal cavities. The difficulties of E964F disappear if we understand kolpos to be a double entendre, meaning within the cunt, and by implications over against the boogie. There will thus be a literal trading of blows between the young man's thrusting member and the girl's boogie. Our common erotic metaphor will thus have been debased not merely by inclusion in a highly undignified context, but by actual literalization as well. This literalization is accomplished by clever, original, and unexpected variations in the usual terminology, namely the obscene sense of kolpos, and the use of meta with
doesn't matter.
I don't know. Anyway,
anybody out there right now who has ever said that Ammon is wrong because it just means a fold in a garment, sorry guys, you should have just used the proper lexicon. Let's keep going.
That was the research paper I sent you, that my fake AI edited, semi backhand back towards scholarship, if you will, just being funny and whatnot. The quest for the burning purple. That's not even complete either, because of this meeting today. Now, one of the things they talked about was the folds of the dress, the frock. And I was, corresponding back and forth with my childhood friend. And he was saying that he said that he's talking about vaginas being everywhere. And so, I read it and we go through it. And I'm like, well, it's not, it's not. I could read it without, seeing that as well. But yeah. I've heard of those words being referenced for the same stuff. I just don't know what century that started. So
5th century BC.
Okay.
Yes, this is the Attic comedy. This is Aristophanes. This is very, very old. Very, very old. This is way pre-Bible.
There's a Family Guy episode where
actually it was
Black Knight.
When I'm thinking when Aristophanes was, because he was contemporary with Socrates. It doesn't matter, but it was really, really old. It was like 5th, 3rd century, something between there. It doesn't matter. Attic comedy. I just don't want to. I don't want to mislead people. I don't want to give people misinformation or anything, and somebody try to make me look like an idiot because I was off by 200 years because I'm being stony baloney talking about dicks and shit on the internet. So anyway, obviously you go, well, what are yeah. So let's just keep going with this experiment, right? What other words are associated with Ammon Hillman? Obviously, you got to look up what it has to say about alabastrums, right?
That's one of my big claims, because Jesus with the magic wand in the art world, that is how you represent a medical alabastrum. So if the first century Christians are drawing this shit in that means that this theory is within the first century of Christianity's establishment. The artists were already drawing the alabaster. It's a magic wand in artwork. That was the way that they would represent that. And some of them do look more like a phallus, but I had charcuterie boards full of these glass penis-shaped alabastrums that are vessels and contain different oils. And you would have a ton of them. Like people that were practicing this would have all kinds of them. And some of them were bigger because it wouldn't be something that you do anally. Suppository. However you need to change that.
Take a look at number 45 here. Read it to everybody.
The slender cylindrical alabastros, a vessel approximately 4 to 8 inches long and used exclusively by women, usually to hold perfumes, forms the basis of several phallic jokes.
Say it ain't so.
All right, say it ain't so. But I've already got one. Distine. Okay. Similarly, in Acarnians, Diatribes consents to give a bridesmaid some of this treaty and accompanies his libation and instructions on how to anoint the groom's phallus and process Diatribes, sorry, Steve, vividly demonstrates on the alabaster. In addition, a line from the Triphallus, Alabastodicas, Drese Husan Ikmais.
You're doing great, man.
Having three.
The point is that you look great doing it, man. You can stutter all you want, but you look great doing it, dude.
I don't have a lot of things going for me. Thank you.
But you look great doing it, man. You're a good looking barbarian.
I am the Bill and Ted of the Gnostic world, just like how they were with, so what you could say, he was an old dead dude. Said, y'all better do something special to get an A on your exam or on your final project.
Anyway, you're seeing what I'm seeing, right? They anointed the alabastrums themselves and used them as phallics. They were, so if people say they weren't shoving alabastrums in their booty, they weren't doing that. Mary didn't stick an alabastrum in Jesus's butt. Doggy, it says right fucking there that it was the basis. It forms the basis of several phallic jokes. They anoint the groom's phallus. I mean, come on, guys. It's right fucking there, right? So I'm going to see if there's any other references to alabastrum. They're probably all 6 in here. Okay, yeah, there's another one where he mentions the lines earlier. You're going to love this one, right? One of your big things is feet. Right? You're a foot guy, right?
Real quick.
Oh, no, we'll pull this up.
Everyone, the Aldo Brandini wedding. You have a few things going on here. You got the god of marriage, Hymenos. You got the muses over here. You have a goddess, deity. Not sure exactly I can't remember now which one it was. There was a time when I could have told you everybody in the picture and the story behind it, but she's holding exactly what we're talking about, and she's getting the bride ready for this in this painting. And then there's another god, I think Aphrodite is the one trying to calm the bride down. She's the one wrapped in white. And then you have the god of marriage. Apparently this was Achilles' parents. That was one of the theories behind who this was. But just to show people in the artwork, not from I could show you all the Jesus with magic wand things for sure. But back to
it, right? Yeah. So I was just saying, one of your big things you keep asking everybody, it's like, oh, what's this whole, foot equals penis, right? Foot equals penis. Let's type in the word foot.
Francesca Stavrakopoulou
exactly.
Talks about hands and feet being used as one of the ways to represent different penises, testicles.
Yep.
Just depending on what was going on in this particular example.
So
metaphorical obscenities for the sexual organs make use of symbolisms frequently encountered also in dreams and springing from an effective associative level of consciousness still possessing infantile and archaic process of thought. The use of certain bodily parts to represent the penis is instructive. The foot and the finger are universal symbols in this regard and undoubtedly have their origins in early infantile experience.
right? We're getting a little bit of Freudian there. Isn't that fun? Right. So we got more stuff with linguistic idioms and word plays having to do with the word foot. Foot, literally foot equals penis. Look at that. Isn't that interesting? Foot equals penis. Foot equals penis. There's some more foot equals penis. Take a look at 82. Read 82 to everyone out loud.
There's an amusing riddle involving these testicles at you in 108. I'm not going to read it. Lying softly in their chamber, virginal, dainty, and affected in their soft coverlets, they rub my foot in spicy oils.
Spicy oils rubbing their foot. Ain't that interesting? Ain't that interesting? This is all good.
And what's that out of?
EUB10. He's got a, so earlier in the book he's got a
he's got the table.
Yeah, exactly, the table to go through all of this. I'm just I'm just doing this thing to show you guys
I'll watch this 300 or 400 times and go
exactly back. And now you have the book, so you're going to flip through it all sorts of places. Yes. Right, so there you go. Indicates more phallus, indicates phallus. You got wine-footed, which is, you know, more double entendres and puns. Oh, isn't that interesting? Puns are so fun. Puns make the world go round, right?
Hey guys, I haven't been watching the comments, but I'm gonna look at them now. I've just been letting him do his thing, so can continue, my man.
So anyway, you know, puns make the world go round. What other words, you know, associated with Ammon do you want to see in this book? Just, you know, toss one of those out there. Ask the audience, hey, what other words?
Yes, let's do that. Let's go to the comments.
Let's go to the comments. Anybody in the comments want me to pull up a word that is associated with Ammon?
Hey, what's up, Amanda?
Oh, you want to see something actually really, really funny? Check out this. Purple. No results. The word purple is not even in here. Isn't that interesting? Isn't that interesting? Because that's Ammon's thing. That's the only original thing that Ammon is adding is the purple.
Right.
Everything else is there. Everything else is there.
And so my way of explaining this to my scholastic friends is, and, you know, guys, you keep in mind, you know, there's a lot of drama going on right now. All right. But this platform's going to bring everyone on because that's what I've been presenting this whole time. So some of this stuff might kind of enrage you a little bit. Totally get it. You know, we got more to show you.
Good.
Right. And let's might as well. I mean, what else are you gonna do? Watch all the current events in politics? Fuck that. Let's give you something.
So where does the burning purple come from? Right, it comes from a seashell, right? So let's take a look at
that's where the purple color. Yes.
Yeah. Let's take a look at what he has to say about the word seashells. Wouldn't it be interesting if he says something interesting? Oh, wait. Hey, there it goes. Says something interesting about seashells. Hey, you want to take it from the tippy here for where I have highlighted?
Roger. The female genitals are, of course, represented by all such objects that share their characteristics of enclosing a hollow area or taking something into itself. Naturally, these are perceived as static and passive, but almost always contain the concomitant idea of entry, never even seen that word, entry by the phallic object. These can be natural features like holes, pits, hollows, or caves, cracks, or the pink cavity of seashells.
The cavity of a seashell?
Roger.
Wow.
Or man-made enclosures like boxes, doors, gates, passageways, which are entered by means of keys or locked by bolts, sheaths for weapons, shoes, rings or circles, vent holes or board holes, as well as all kinds of dishes and ovens.
Isn't that interesting? It says right there that vagina equals seashell. So when Ammon says the burning purple, the vessel, the shell is her vagina, he's correct. He's correct. But people keep saying that he's wrong. Why do people keep saying he's wrong? It's because they're using the wrong lexicon. They're using Webster Dictionary instead of the Urban Dictionary. Because it says right there, the purple, where the seashell, where does the purple come from? All you got is Ammon making a massive leap, or is he making a very tiny little step? I want to ask, is this right? Like, in your opinion right now, the seashell is vagina. Is Ammon making a massive leap or a tiny step?
No, I'm seeing what you're saying.
Tiny little step, a baby step. This is a tiptoe little baby step.
Thought of the seashell before. And the fact
you
that
had somebody on your show tried to correct Ammon and saying the seashell is not her vagina. Look at this one right here, number 61. What does it say? What does it say? What does number 61 say, guys? What does number 61 say? Or sorry, number 60. I apologize. Number 60. What does number 60 say?
The cavity, pink or red, of a seashell used in technical writers for mainly bodily cavities is a double entendre meaning vagina. It's the joke.
Who are those technical writers? Who are those technical writers?
I don't know.
The medicinal. That's where the medicinal texts are. That's the technical writing. The medicinal texts use the seashell as a metaphor for the body cavity of the vagina. The vagina is the seashell. Is Ammon making a massive leap, or is he taking a teeny tiny little baby step standing on the shoulders of giants? Let's be honest, guys.
I don't think I see the correlation, 100%. And so that definitely, so I'm having a hard time understanding something, I guess. So he talks about the burning purple as the drug. So when he says that, is he just referring to the concept of the incubation of these drugs in this seashell, which referencing purple having sort of a double meaning as well? We're having it's an entheogenic reference, and it's also a reference to the seashell. Is it all wrapped into one, would you say? I mean, all of that's wrapped into him coining the phrase.
You all you got to do is you put your Ammon brain on and go, is this a crazy leap, or is this, just a teeny tiny little baby step to go? The cavity, the seashell itself is the vagina. I know it says pink or red, but guys, the murex comes from the seashell and it's purple, right? The purple dye from the murex comes from the shell. I don't see how it would be very far off to see purple stained vaginas as the seashell. It doesn't. This is he's taking this and then doing the teeniest tiny little bit of mimesis, tiny little bit, tiny bit of mimesis, which is adequate, like proper scholarship. And then he goes on YouTube and, starts hollering and hooting and stuff, and people get upset about it. But because he goes hooting and hollering, we throw Henderson out with fucking Medea's bathwater. Right? So let's go and take a look at what Henderson has to say about the word burning. Do you have an extra toga close by? Because you're going to poop it. You're going to poop your toga. Let's type BURNING. Enter. Look at that. Page 177. He has an entire page about burning. Guys, an entire page, 177 about burning. Burning. The word burning in the mystery rites. Not burnt, not burning purple. The word burning. How it has to do with the mystery rites, the Attic comedy, and the medical text. Let's take a look. So, this guy burning, burning love, whatever, Right. Take a look at 183. Read 183 out loud to everybody, please.
Pitch or resin indicates the female secreta, at where the flute girl is visualizing as a burning torch that is burning with sexual passion. Okay.
Stung by the gadfly, the oestrus.
This is exactly one of the things I haven't said in regards to the whole burning thing. Obviously, we're talking about the ephemeron and the effects it has. It makes your freaking lips burning. And apparently, if you kiss somebody, that they could potentially have burning lips, which is talk about a psyop or a mind fuck. Yes. You give somebody the kiss of death and their mouth's on fire or something. So
take a look at how many times Ammon uses the word aphrodisiac in Toxicology of Antiquity. Take a look at how many times, guys, because he's talking about this. And this exact word has been repeatedly said that Ammon is wrong. Ammon's wrong about this. He's using the translation wrong. Read it. The resin, the pitch, is the female secreta. That's her pussy juice. The drugs come from her pussy, according to Ammon. The pitch. Right?
I'm tracking.
And it's the burning frame. Look at down here. So the pitch flows from her as she burns. To smear with pitch indicates sexual aggressiveness, rendering wet through intercourse. A young man remarks his age flamed. I've pitched her down below quite enough in the past. This verb meaning smear below.
Roger.
Is combines the image of pussy juice and the tarring of a leaky vessel. How many times have people tried saying Ammon is wrong because it just means pitch, as in boat fucking tar that you spread to make sure your boat doesn't leak? Ammon's wrong because it just means the fucking boat, the boat pitch. You fucking idiots. You absolute fucking dullards. Every single one of you who have said this is a complete fucking dullard. Next, burning. Right? More. Pitch, resin. Let's keep going. Burning. There's an entire chapter on it. Look, words for burning used to describe the effects of erotic passion indicate sexual intercourse and common in all languages, not just Greek. All fucking languages use this metaphor. So when Ammon says the burning purple, you fucking dullards, that communicates in all languages, not just Greek. So you go looking for it in the ancient Greek, you're not going to find it because it's a neologism.
I made you say jism.
Fuck yeah, Raw Path, you know what to do. All right. Take a look at this. All right. So the word for it. So he's got you guys got off on the wrong foot. You see what I did there? Penis. Yeah, penis. All right. So just scroll through.
I thought Raw Path was you.
Dude, everybody thought Raw Path was me because they're a bunch of fucking idiots. And apparently
I thought it was also another friend of mine. I was like, is it this buddy? And I was like, it'd be so funny if it was. That'd be the best reveal ever, like catfish, like.
Well, dude, I'm telling you, it's not a coincidence that Discordians and people from the Church of Subgenius are attracted to Ammon Hillman's work, because it's fucking satire and it draws from all of this shit, which the Church of the Subgenius and Discordianism is all based on, dude. Hail Eris. All right, so let's go and take a look at the page here on burning, because this is what you need to finish your book here. All you need is this fucking page to explain all the stuff about burning.
Yes.
Dude, just take it from the tippy and just read the whole fucking page to your audience, right? Right. Words for burning. Words for burning.
Used to describe effects of erotic passion and to indicate sexual intercourse are common in all languages.
All.
So this word I'm not going to try to pronounce at 344 means bake my penis in coitus. C-section.
To put it in the oven, dude.
Be a double entendre, referring to grape, not the special object of the male chorus attention. The notorious wife of Lycon means to roast my phallus in coitus. Let's see. Along with the whole area of sacrificial, to be inflamed by passion, along with the whole area of sacrificial language and customs, forms the basis of numerous obscene jokes in comedy. This verb appears for Aphrodite. Phalaris bird, it's basically bird, white horse to swear by, as if to the tour de force all the extent sacrifice humor is the long parody from Phaon by Plato Comicus. Iris prime objective of Satire, sexual aggressiveness, used in its ritual meaning to burn ashes, to try to intimidate her antagonist. But Isaterus turns the world back on Iris by using it in an unusual erotic meaning. Okay, why don't you fly off somewhere and burn up one of the young men? Why don't you go off and bang one of the sailors? To cover with hot pitch.
Yep.
Oh God.
So I mean, do you see what's happening here? This is exactly what Ammon is describing when he's saying the burning purple.
He clearly made it all up, guys.
No, it's just all made up. He doesn't know what he's talking about. He's just a crazy guy.
I was like, it had to come from somewhere, because even my creative ideas, I might be sort of thinking of a scene from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with a scene from here, with a scene from there, and it's all in good fun just to make a funny story. And I'm not really coining stuff, but if somebody does that along the way, like for example, there's been stuff that we've said on the show that's become sort of coined phrases that we would put on like t-shirts or something. stupid shit that I've said, tons of it. There's tons of stuff.
Well, I coined a phrase recently that I think would help everybody in this situation. It's called Rux Scooter, right? And basically Rux Scooter is to take on Occam's razor. You see what I did there? Razor Scooter. Instead of Occam, it's Rux Scooter. And basically Rux Scooter goes as such. Are you dumbasses sure it's not a pun? That's Rux Scooter. You apply Rux Scooter to anything in Greek, and then you go through this book and you go, oh shit, it's a pun. And you won't get hit in the shin with a fucking razor scooter, you dumbasses. All right. So that's Rux razor. Let's keep going through and learn a little bit more about burning, right? So burning, passing.
What's going on, Chase?
Isn't that interesting?
I wanted Mandy bringing the fire tonight. My brother, thank you so much.
I'm bringing so much fire that he had to wear a fucking bulletproof vest.
I know, I saw
I'm
that.
suited up.
This motherfucker's spitting right now.
Ready to go.
Is anything that I'm saying resonating with you? Anything, is this making any sense?
I've dug into a lot of this stuff. Not like so you're showing me some stuff that I have seen the thing about the burning and the sexual desire thing. Like this was like maybe a year ago when I actually had more free time. So yes, and I'm glad you're showing this to me again, right? And it needs to be shown again. But I just want to take one side street just for a second to comment on the satire thing. And that's from you. So you understand satire. I come from the drama thing. So something I can add, because I'm not a linguist, is would we say we kind of agree that the evolutionary mechanism of laughter is the release of energy around something that surprises us, and instead of attacking it or being mad or whatever else, it becomes the unexpected, and that laughter is kind of a release of energy of all of that nervous system built up for it to go somewhere, and in fact it makes us feel good because we're now safe. Does that make sense?
That's one theory. Yeah, there's several theories of of the anthropology of laughter, but that's one that's it's a leading theory. Yeah, sure.
Absolutely not. It's not the absolute be all tell all, but let's just the general direction of that thing, right? Sure. Okay. So satire is the evocation of something that rings true, I think, primally, or something in the unconscious. And it's so absurd or whatever else that we laugh at something very dark. Is that something that sounds kind of accurate with you? That satirical stuff feels like it can cover this wonderful dark like palette of things that are uncomfortable, and then that's become so absurd that we laugh about those dark things and maybe think about them in different ways and maybe get better at solving them. Does that make sense?
That's exactly it. Yeah. There's a great book, if you don't have it already. It's called The Power of Satire, Magic, Ritual, and Art by Robert C. Elliott.
Yeah.
Richard C. Elliott, Robert C. Elliott. It's one of those. It starts with an R, but it's called The Power of Satire. I talked Derek from MythVision into grabbing it. He picked up a copy and took a picture and sent it to me. It's one of the best books. And also take a look at this. Henderson actually uses it as one of his sources. OWER of satire. Check this out right here. So I tell everybody that they should read this book if you want a great discussion on the history of all of this stuff. The Power of Satire by R.C. Elliott. And this is a particular page right here. And also take a look. He also cites Fraser Golden Bough. Isn't that interesting? So this book right here will go through and tell you all about the cultural history, the anthropology of satire going back at least 6,000 years.
I can't wait.
So before the Greeks, and it all comes back from I'm sure you're probably familiar with this, but the dancing around the phallic pole, the ritual of dancing around a phallic pole. Basically, you put a pole in the ground and then dance around it, and the dance steps would basically make the pole fuck the ground, right? So your dancing made the pole fuck the ground, and that would be this phallic thing, this fertility ritual, right? Now the satirists, these were basically like potlatches, right? Like communal gatherings. The satirist was the person who ridiculed you. Oh, great, awesome! Take a look at that. the person who would ridicule you for not participating in these rituals, right? There was always a designated person. So if you didn't bring food to the barbecue, you know what I mean? You would have, you know, a little kid running around slapping you and fucking making fun of you for not bringing anything. And, you know, if you weren't participating in the dances, you would have a guy that you know, a little kid running around slapping you, making fun of you, right? And when you have, you know, these fertility rituals always had an adult's tent, and then what was left for the kids to do, right? All of the adults were in the tent participating in the fertility ritual, if you know what I mean. They were having orgies. The kids were left, yeah, they were doing stuff, right? They were
I don't know if I like this conversation.
Yeah, they were out there sucking and fucking in those tents. So the adults of age, whatever the community at the time agreed that, you know, that was everybody that was of age would participate in the fertility ritual, and then who wasn't, what was they left to do? Guess what they did? Poetry battles, back and forth. My poetry is better than your poetry, and they would battle each other back and forth, bam, 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 bam. And the person who won the poetry battle was basically the best in the village, and they were able to hang their family's fleece on the tree. Jason and the Argonauts, the Golden Fleece, all of this comes back from ancient rituals of phallic, you know, dancing around the pole, and a person who was the best at insulting, you know, everybody else for not participating properly or good enough, got to hang their, you know, family's fleece on the tree. So all of this stuff is ancient stuff. It goes back, you know, and it's universal. It doesn't matter what language is being done. You know what I mean? You are. So everybody participates in this.
And I love all that. I'm 100% going to read that book. The reason I wanted to bring it up is, like, bro, Derek, what do you think satire is? And then you're going to just throw Mandy under the bus and say, oh, satire. Like, you think it's just slapstick comedy? You think this is just like an Ace Ventura movie? It's a way to evoke things inside of people. It's a part of ancient Greek education. It's a part of education in general to make you experience something and go through something virtually with the images or with the scenes you're seeing, and you create the experience with your own experiences. And when it hits universal things, everybody kind of understands what's going on. Because otherwise, if you're showing people images, those are random abstract images that are unconnected. If you're showing people theater scenes, it's not real life. We're not with them when they're shitting and stuff like that. So to like throw you under the bus like that and be like, it's just he's a satirist. Like, I was floored. I didn't know. I was like, I started getting so heated.
We're gonna watch it in a minute. Once he's done with this book, we're gonna actually play it, and we're gonna.
Dullard is the right word. I can't believe you reminded me of that word. It was just
that's one that comes. That's one that comes from. That's one that comes from Lucian. Lucian calls people dullards all the time.
Good God. And that's just getting me started, but
seriously, I mean, it blows my mind that people don't already know this stuff.
I'm just now getting
to talk so confidently about it as if that like lampoons everything or just like sums something up or just acts like that's just bullshit compared to my brilliant academic logical mind. No, it's making you look more stupid. Like,
so, okay. Witch Doctor, do you have that other screenshot that I sent you from that other book? Because we're going to get to the point right now where I'm going to show you where Ammon actually takes an academic position. And exactly. So let's pull this one up first. So the one that I have, so everybody can read it and see what's going on here, right? So you know how Ammon always talks about it sounds fucking gross, but medicine derived from the secretion from boys' penises, right? There's actual scholarship that backs that up, right? Actual scholarship. Now, Henderson,
there is knowledge in my world, like the bodybuilding world, there's go ahead, but I know there is something to this, and you can go ahead.
I mean,
also to be clear,
not that
no one here is condoning it.
No one's saying go out and do this, right? What they're saying
who the hell is like saying because you mentioned something that people used to do or talking about something like that people have done or whatever else, and we're saying this is not cool. All of a sudden, we're supporting it. Are you like?
Dude. I mean, that's that. And here's the thing: is that I always say that Ammon's wrong always say that Ammon's wrong, right? Because of this passage right here, I have a fundamental disagreement about what's going on with the boy in Mark 15, 51, 52 than Ammon does. And my argument is much more sophisticated. His is a little bit sloppy because he's taking a position on a debate from 1975, dude. 1975. This debate has been going on.
You've been talking about this.
They have been talking. None of this is new, right? Any person who has talked about or it's weighing in on this should already know about this, because they should have already read this book. They should have already read footnote 194. They should have already went back to the other scholar who this person disagrees with and see where Ammon is making his determination here, because Ammon disagrees with Henderson on this point, right? Sorry, Chase, are you any good at reading out loud? Would you want to read 194, footnote 194 for everybody?
He's on his
phone. Problem is I might need glasses and I'm on my iPhone screen.
Oh yeah, don't worry about it. Witch Doctor, you want to read this for everybody?
Next time when I get a computer screen,
Yeah, no, and download the book so you can read it for yourself, man.
What's the book's name?
The book's name is The Immaculate Muse by Jeffrey Henderson.
Thank you so much.
So we're looking at 194.
Yeah, footnote 194 here, and you can just sort of
all right, cool.
Skip over any of the Greek words because they don't matter. It's all just fucking Greek to me anyway.
All right. So
also, this book was designed for people who do not know Greek, and if you do know Greek, it'll be even easier for you to navigate. But it was designed specifically for the non-Greek speaker. He says it in the intro. So this is a brilliant work of scholarship that you don't need to know a lick of Greek. You don't need to know even what one of these squiggly lines mean. You don't even need to know the alphabet, because it's designed for people specifically to understand this shit who only read English. If you know the Greek, it'll be even easier to you, and you should feel like a massive dullard for not already knowing this. So, Witch Doctor, take it from the tippy.
All right. So, well, we have a reference, Seaman at column 260 with Pfeiffer's note, the Drosos Gaihinus, just logic referring to the dewy genitals of boys as cause viewer discretion advised, guys.
Yeah. This is some Ammon Hillman shit. So
Dover Clouds, never mind. Gives a detailed physiological excursus in which he concludes that the dew refers to Cowper's secretion, a transparent mucus emitted in small amounts when the penis is fully erect for some minutes, and its owner in a high state of sexual excitement. For ancient materials on Cooper secretion, see Hopper in 5 above, PP3.
There's another citation for you guys.
But this idea seems to be mistaken dramatically. There is no mention of erection in this passage, and no hint that the boys in question are sexually excited. It is rather the grown men looking at the boys' genitals who are excited. Cowper secretion is an obscure image in any case and simply will not fit this particular context. Fortunately, a more natural explanation will account for the passage's two desiderata, namely the drosos must be something I can't really see well, and the drosos gaihinus appears when anointing oil is not used below the navel. I think that the expression must be an elegant indiatis for drosdias, hinus, dewy down. See Williams in 8 above 3112, who rightly lists in 978 among numerous other such cases of indiadis. The public down of because of the boy's athletic sweat. The dew associated with sweat, see Herodotus, I'm guessing, Medica and RHM 58.99, Plutarch 2.695. See, moreover, dewiness is frequently associated by the Greeks with freshness and innocence, which are clearly wanted in our passage. The comparison of in 978 with Drosois Leontun of Argonaut 141, which is sometimes made, is not relevant for young lions. Aeschylus, I can't remember how to say that. Aeschylus use drosos in the sense of semen, progeny, and gunos and guni.
Okay, so is everybody following along what's going on right now? This guy
sorry,
right here
is probably killing people right now.
So I'll just give
guys for bearing with me through
everybody's following along, and everybody needs to stop, and everybody needs to stop and recognize, how come Mandy Moorehol is the person showing you all of this? How come Mandy Moorehol knows this, but I didn't? Because you're a dullard. So follow along, you dullard. What's going on right now is that there is an academic debate going on within this book. He fundamentally disagrees with this other guy, Dover, right? About his translation from clouds about the word do. Okay. So Dover is saying in this context, the word do means what Ammon says it means, which is medicine coming from the tip of the boy's, thing from the pre-cum, right? Is anybody surprised about this? This is a 25-year-old debate. Now, Witch Doctor, if you would like, pull up that the passage from Dover where he explains the do.
All right, let me zoom in
and take a look, because it's gonna, and keep in mind that this is the position that Ammon holds. So Ammon's actually doing actual scholarship and reading actual scholars and taking a position based on the work of one of them versus the work of the other, and provides a very he provides elaboration on it. So if you want to take it from the tippy and give everybody the context and have both sides of the debate, and then you can go and use all of your real big brains and determine, hey, why did Ammon decide this guy's right versus this guy? And also remember, I'm the one showing you all of this, you dullards. Keep going.
So a penis, I don't know how to say this name, a penis, an adjective predicated of Eros himself in Theognis 1353, means cruel or harsh, and no attempt to translate it as indecoros can be justified by evidence. Wright's point is that the sight of the boy's genitals torments the spectators, just as beautiful women are in pain to the eyes. His next sentence suggests that the Erastus might brood longingly over the mark in the sand where the genitals of his Eromenos had rested. The implication of the last sentence is disputed, but Wright's interest in the appearance of boys' genitals is not disputable. Old Philocleon in WASP 578, listing the enjoyable prerequisites of jury service includes looking at the genitals of boys who can attainment of the age necessary for registration as full citizens have been questioned and referred to a law court. It would be surprising if the Greeks had no criteria for the aesthetic judgment of male genitals, and the visual arts show us that these criteria were, my gosh, I'm so sorry, guys.
He zoomed right in on small penis. That's hilarious. Somebody clip that.
I was gonna say, how do I do this to not mess this up? All right, let's it would be surprising if the Greeks had no criteria for the aesthetic judgment of male genitals, and the visual arts show us that these criteria were: the vase painting, the characteristic penis of a young man, human, heroic or divine, is thin, sometimes notably thinner than a finger, and short as measured for the base to the end of the glands, terminating in a long pointed foreskin at the axis of the penis, and foreskin being almost always straight. The small penis is promised by Wright in Clouds 1009-14 as one of the desirable results of a good old-fashioned education, together with a good color, broad shoulders, and big buttocks. What the fuck? Examples of a short may be seen in R youth and R716, youth and boy, R92, Eros and youth, young athlete, young arming. It is longer but very thin in Achilles. Youth, this small penis is combined as a rule with a scrotum of normal size, and the contrast is sometimes striking. The youth in R373 has a normal scrotum, but a minute penis, and the youth scrotum in 638 is massive. Ganymede in R348 has an unusually small scrotum, but the fact that he is there playing with any hoop suggests that the painter envisages that more as a child than a youth. The painters do not normally contrast men with immature, and that's all I got.
So anyway, take a look at the footnote here. Number 1.
My interpretation that Drothos is corpus creation, appearing when the boy's penis had been secretion. Sorry, yeah, I'm getting backwards. Appearing when the boy's penis has been erected by titillation. That's fine. I use that word sometimes. As far-fetched, I am bound to agree with some reviewers on this, but no other interpretation so far seems to me to pay enough attention to the semantics of drossos, or to explain why Wright regards the beauty of drossos and down as incompatible with anointing below the navel, on the gulf between reality and the convention, that the eromenos is not aroused, and then on big buttocks, which go with big thighs.
So anyway, do you see what's going on here? There's an academic debate about one of the words, and one of the main primary things that Ammon says his house of cards that he built as a theory, right? It's not built on all of the silly shit that a lot of these people think it's built on. It's built on this footnote in fucking Immaculate Muse 194 and the footnote from Dover. And all of you dumbasses don't know this. And it blows my goddamn mind, right? Ammon is weighing in on a debate that started in 1975. And
right.
You're making this huge goddamn thing. And there's this goddamn dossier about him. There's no dossier about Henderson or Dover. Come on, guys. Like, what the hell is wrong with you people? Like, there's no dossier on Ruck. There's no dossier on any other scholar, but there's a dossier on Ammon because, you know, you have these autistic fits and you start flapping your hands around like an overstimulated autistic girl. Why? Why?
What's a can you dossier?
If you don't already know, there were people that are anti-Ammonites that hired private investigators to investigate his life, and they've made a file on him. Yeah, dude. If you don't already know this, it's fucked up. And if the people who did if the people who did it lived in the United States, they would be arrested for criminal harassment and stalking and cyber crimes. They have a dossier on Ammon that is thick, that has his court cases. I was telling Witch Doctor before, I know more about Ammon's ex-wife than I know about my ex-wife. And that's fucked up. It's absolutely fucked up, right?
He's a Catholic church? Jesus.
That's what I'm saying, dude. It's like, you know, you really got to stop and think, like, how can all of these people, all of these content creators have, you know, received this dossier and not went, hey guys, like, why are we doing this? Because if like anybody did anything remotely close to that about, say, like any female content creator,
serious stalking,
there would, like even if somebody went into her DMs and said, let me get some foot pics, that person would be blacklisted and banned everywhere, right? Like the amount of,
or they call someone sugar tits.
Or you call somebody sugar tits and like you don't even follow up, like if after that's the only thing you call them, right?
Okay.
You didn't stop.
I'm like, I don't even know the girl.
You don't even know her. You call her sugar tits and you blow up. But people go crazy. And if you're just now finding out about this, dude, that blows my mind, because that's been floating around for a couple of years now, and it's fucked up that people don't. Yeah, and Richard Carrier
I heard rumors that that the court case stuff. But on one of his videos, I think he read some.
I'll look it up.
Yeah. So people
care because it wasn't like anything like what, like, where did this like thing come from that, because he's talking about like some of the stuff that happens with cult and antiquity, that he supports pedophilia, because that is literally Christian propaganda about ancient Greek history. And I know that for a fact because I was raised Baptist and I was raised evangelical, and that's exactly how they talked about anything before Bible times, is they would say those dirty Greeks were messing with young boys and that's all you need to know. Literally had a fucking pastor tell me that. Like, it's like, and then you're like, so me just talking about the screwed up shit that they're doing means that I support it and I want other people to support it. And if you watch all of Ammon's work, it's all about how fucked up it is and how, like, we know this is bad. We shouldn't be doing this shit.
Seriously, like, I mean, look at this right now. Is Henderson promoting pedophilia and pederasty? Is he getting accused of being NAMBLA? Is Carl Ruck doing that? Is Amy Richland? Amy Richland writes a ton about the history of satire and its relationship to
you could
queer
literally
culture.
watch it.
Is Amy Richland promoting pederasty and NAMBLA and all of that? Is fucking Carl Ruck? Is Henderson? Is Dover? Like I read you right here where Ammon's getting this stuff from, and it's an old debate. It's an old debate, right? Like guys, catch up, right? Catch up. Your rhetoric's pathetic, and your scholarship's absolutely embarrassing. How come I don't have a fucking PhD in this shit, right? I'm a satirist. I'm a comedian. I read these fucking sources. Right, I read them and I come with fucking evidence that anything that I say today, like, was it invalid? Was it crazy? Was it, like, was it, batshit crazy scholarship? Am I just some crazy guy on the internet that doesn't know what they're talking about? Like, I provided you guys with sources, and I provided you with a fucking debate from 1975 that Ammon's making a fucking stance on, and he's making a scholarly stance, not a fucking crazy person stance.
And
he's doing.
Sorry, the problem, I'm sorry, man. I have a real, like, I love shit talking. I love mudslinging. I love WCW, kayfabe. Not in our politics, it sucks. But in general, like, I love entertainment. I love satire. I love all that stuff.
You're a director.
When you literally and genuinely accuse somebody of supporting something like they want to make it okay for pederasty and all of this other stuff, that triggers one of the darkest human instincts that each one of us have in this room right now, which is rage and murder. If you're in the 90% of the population, that is like ruling tyrannical power 101. Get them to believe that the other people kill babies or mess with kids. Like, that ignites something primal in humans because we hate it. In fact, we crucify people sometimes for it. So I like to throw that insult out there and so cavalierly, like, just claim that that's what he supports and what he does. You're gonna put a mark on his head for a crazy person or something like that. I mean, like, it's so dark to me. Like, that's what I'm saying,
right? Like, it's absolutely fucked up. It's absolutely fucked up. And I want to pull and people, like, they say, oh, Ammon doesn't say he's a satirist. Ammon doesn't say he's a satirist. Ammon doesn't say he's a satirist. The fuckface on Danny Jones, he said all of this comes from the IAMs. All of this comes from the IAMs. Yeah. He's doing the IAMs. He's acting in honor of the IAMs. Do you guys know what the IAMs are? Do you know what the IAMs are?
Oh, I'm not familiar with it.
You're not familiar with the IAMs?
Yeah, teach me.
Pull up my screen. We're going to teach you some shit. Let's learn some shit, guys. Let's learn how stupid everybody around us is.
The natural instincts, and maybe it's from my mentor or whatever else. Like, you didn't need to, like, I'm so excited to learn what you're about to teach me, but I'm just saying that I knew, like, the style of communication he was doing off the fucking bat.
Off the fucking rip. Off the fucking rip.
And it was only a little bit different when he first started out, because I watched all of them, man. I'm not in a cult. I'm not nothing. I find it fascinating, and I like to go down rabbit holes.
So here's the thing. Like,
he sometimes was academic in his videos. He was very much, like, straightforward, and then this character became more entertaining. It evokes more. It provokes more. But then it gets people inspired to go learn stuff and to kind of paint the picture. I'm going to take you back in that time machine. That's what he's doing. That's all he's doing. Like, you don't recognize what, like, educational entertainment or evocation is. You're a dullard.
You're a dullard. You're a dullard. You don't have media literacy. They teach media literacy to children, and one of the things that they teach them is satire, so that they don't get duped like fucking Joe Rogan on his show where he goes, "Why does it lie to me?" And Jamie has to pull it up and say, "No, this is a satire site," right? That's what all of these people sound like, right? I want to tell you about the IAMs. We're gonna pull up Ammon's source right here.
Oh, also, by the way, just real quick. That's just an excuse. Well, your argument's dead in the water because you're just saying, oh, well, isn't it satire? So that means you're just saying it's all comedy and useless. No, I just explained to you, like, you don't understand what satire is doing. Go watch Life of Brian and get the education.
Were you here for my Galileo example?
No.
Are you familiar with Galileo, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so Galileo's, the work that he's most known for, the dialogue on the concerning the two worlds, whatever the fuck, the one that he's most famous for, that got him banned from the church and all that, or by the church.
Yes.
That's a satire, right? Where that's Galileo used satire to communicate his
pierce the veil,
right?
Yes.
So what Richard Carrier did. Right. What Richard Carrier did, because he's such a fucking idiot, is throw Galileo out with Medea's bathwater. And it's the stupidest thing a historian could possibly have done. Right. he's not in his, we still got some more time we can dig into the actual, his criticism and all that and watch the video. And it's especially funny in light of all of this. I wanted to save it for the end because holy fuck, does he make himself look stupid, right? I want to teach you guys about the IAMs, right? Remember on Danny Jones, you can go back and take a look at when Ammon Hillman was on Danny Jones, and Danny Jones asked him, where does it come from? Yada, yada, yada. Ammon says something to the respect of, that comes from the IAMs. It's all about the IAMs. The IAMs is the satanic poetry. You got to know about the IAMs. That's what he is doing, right? If you want to take it from the tip, witch doctor, take it from the origins of this kind of poetry are.
The origins of this kind of poetry are to be found in the abusive blank of the cults. This figure of iambi is merely the personification of iambic invective. The speak in iambs is virtually the same as to revile and abuse. It is therefore no coincidence that the literary perfection of iambic poetry took place in the areas where the cults were important. Archilochus, the great pioneer writer, iambic verse, sorry guys, was personally involved in the strong songs of Peros, once called Demetrius and boasting ancient cults of Demeter and Dionysus, and worked in part from the inspiration he received from them. Indeed, he seems to have sung his deadly attack in lycambes, at the Demeter festival. This literary development of the iamb coincided with transition from oral to written verse composition, and so we are not surprised at the strong public tone in the poetry. The poet's invective gossip, critical, and personal opinions were communicated openly for all to hear. Thus, the origins, development, and social function of the Ionic iambos, of the archilochus, Hipponax, and Simonides are the chief representatives, seem to run parallel to those of old comedy. All the elements are there: personal invective, and then the examples of archilochus versus Hipponax. Literary incentive: Hipponax versus Mimnermus, Xenophanes and Homer, Hesiod. Parody, obscene exposures, flights of fantasy. In fact, the numerous connections already recognized in antiquity between the writers of old comedy and the iambic poets suggest the development of the iambic idea. The Athens was heavily influenced by these Ionian models. We know that the Cretinus wrote archilochoi, as well as directed echoing archilochus, and does Aristophanes. Aristophanes also contains Hippomactian reminiscent. So does Eupolis and Bapti. Alexis wrote Archicalus, and the comic poet Hermippus was an iambographer in the style of Archilochus. We might even say that our surviving fragment of the legendary comic poet Caesarion is a direct descendant of the stylized iambic misogyny of Simonides. Certainly, the obscenity and abuse of old comedy and iambic poetry were thought of by ancient critics in virtually identical. Sorry.
And we leave off on footnote 69. Nice. So 69. So Chase, did you gather what happened there? You gather where this stuff is coming from, what its purpose was.
Yes.
Right. It was insult poetry that comes out of the iambs, which is the cult of Demeter. Right.
Your mama jokes,
right? The very first satirist is this guy Archilochus, right? He was a high priest from the cult of Demeter out in Turkey, dude. High priest from the cult of Demeter. And he went over and he came over to Athens and started fucking shit up, dude. He was such a good insult poet that he would make people kill themselves with his words, right? His words, dude, his words were described as stinging, like being bitten by a snake, being stung by the gadfly. Yeah, dude. All of that shit. It would burn. Yeah.
What was his name again?
Archilochus.
So what's the Aeschylus was one of them too, right? That the Spartans banned his books and stuff? Or is that Archilochus? Am I saying it wrong?
I think you're saying it wrong, and also I mostly just read
real smart right now.
What was that?
Archilochus. I think so. I have a weird.
No, it's Archelaus.
Archelaus.
Yeah. How do I share my screen?
Okay. And he was called the Sword of the Muse, right?
Yeah. So he was basically yeah.
Okay.
We
This
can
is
look
fitting
at
because look on the side of my head here.
Yo, look at the. I haven't shaved my head in a bit, but check out the side of mine. Is it that side?
Whoa, whoa.
Yeah, boy.
Check that out.
Yeah.
There's a spruce tree, and then behind, like in my ear, I got a little.
Beauty.
And then behind him, I got a little spider.
So this is Exifos Muses. This is Sword of the Muse, carved poetry from suffering. That's what's on there.
Hell yeah, dude.
So I mean, I thought it was Aeschylus. I was saying his name wrong.
No.
Sorry, guys.
Archelaus.
But Archelaus.
He was Archelaus. He was one of the first. He was one of the. He was the very first satirist. He brought this stuff to the stage. He invented a lot of the stage tropes that we know from Dionysian theater and all of that stuff, and he brought it from the mystery rites.
And then Spartans didn't like him, right? Because he's at one point there's something with their boy rituals he started pointing out, and they started banning his books. Is that accurate or no?
Shit, man, I think we're talking about two different people.
Okay. Okay. Well, whatever.
Yeah.
I feel like I still.
We might also be talking about the same fucking guy, and I'm overlooking it because I wasn't really. I don't. Anytime people talk about the Spartans, I kind of just go, whatever. I'm going to read something else. You know what I mean? I don't really care too much about them. I also don't care too much about like war stuff. You know what I mean? I just look past it. I go, fuck it. Like I don't care about like like there's the spears and the shields and the fucking formations and the. Fuck all of that shit, dude. Like I look at the dick jokes and the poop jokes and the pee-pee jokes and all of that shit. But I mean, just what are your thoughts on like everything that I just showed? Anything like do you believe me when I say that 87% of what Ammon is doing is in that one book?
Well, what are my thoughts? I mean, it's just expanding my mind more to an instinct that you're putting a lot more like words and like more complex concepts to what I already felt was happening because I've done it through other mediums and I know how effective it is. And then I see what it does to people, right? When you could point out things in these ways that are, again, satire or whatever else, like these are thoughts and subjects that people can explore without the fear and the weight, right? Of them being talked about seriously in a certain arena. Because as I mentioned before, anytime you bring up something that has to do with like pederasty in children, that ignites like our nervous system for fight or flight. It's very aggressive. It's all of these things, right? So it makes it a hard thing to talk about seriously. Honestly, it's an awful thing. So something like satire, I feel like allows you to explore awful things without, you're not condoning them. You're not saying they're okay. You're just like trying to understand maybe reality a little bit better. And satire has that art. I know that's like a dark subject, but like that makes sense that he's piercing the veil with it, because I feel like if he had just come out and just talked in like a pretty kind of monotone, boring way and stuff like that, like no one would listen to him. No one's going to sit there and listen to 3 hours of him just translating ancient Greek in a really monotone way or something like that, because they don't see how it's applicable to them. They don't see the exciting and inspiring part or the whatever else. So like adding that skill set of like, creating the satire with it and then bringing the reality with it, which the reality is not in the words. Like I got news for all you like idiot academics. Like words are not real, right? It's technology. Right. So your whole like idea of truth that like I'm going to define something perfectly as it is and all this other stuff, you're an idiot. That's what you are. All right. If you want to use your language as a technology to describe a pattern that's happening in physics and communicate it to me, and then we can agree and we can build on it and work on it, I'm all for it. Let's go. But like this idea of like just memorizing stuff and parroting stuff back and like these fake fucking black belts, I'm so tired of it. I'm so tired of these people. Like look at you in the hot seat now, guys. Your skills are not applicable. You're not applicable.
I mean, absolute egg on your face, and all you had to do was use the right dictionary. You know what I mean? It's not that.
Or just say I don't know and learn.
I mean, it's the problem is Richard Carrier went out of his fucking he does what he always does, and he stepped out of his lane and stepped into my lawn. I'm saying, buddy, you did this with Jesus mythicism, and I let you go. All right, whatever, buddy. But now he's he's over on my lawn again, pissing all over 6,000 years of tradition fighting against this shit, man. It blows my goddamn mind. And I honestly, I find it absolutely hilarious, right? All of these
propaganda to me.
All of these problems could have been avoided had you guys just used the proper lexicon. And everybody bitches and moans all about the lexicon, but like, you guys don't even know what the hell it is that you're talking about when it comes to satire, right? Like, first of all, like, how in anybody's possible right mind would I be one of Ammon's most staunch defenders, right? Or staunch defenders? I'm not, right? I'm not. I keep saying that he's wrong. And then the fact that they can't.
What are we defending anyway? Do you know
what is it that we're defending? I'm saying, dude, he's doing satire, and they go on and on and on about all this NAMBLA shit. It's like, hang on, like, and who also said it's just a joke, right? Like, that's absolutely insane. Like, no one said it's just a joke, right? That's not what the word satire means, right? The fucking the movie Fight Club, is a satire. But according to Richard Carrier, because it's a satire, that means he gets to do criticism according to the standards of comedy. Would anybody in their right mind say that Fight Club is a comedy? No. But it's still a satire.
Right.
So Richard Carrier is wrong. He's fucking wrong because he's fucking stupid, right? The only possible way that anybody with a PhD could have said that is because they are stupid. They are not using their PhD to make that assessment, right?
No, the
movie Fight Club is satire. So according to Richard Carrier, I'm going to say it again so that everybody can get through their thick skulls how stupid of a statement that is, right? He said that because Ammon Hillman is doing satire, he gets to use his aesthetic judgment to critique him on his comedy. Okay, critique fucking Fight Club on the comedy. Go ahead and do it, you fucking idiot. You absolute fucking dullard. Right? Let's get into the video. Do we want to watch Richard Carrier make an absolute ass of himself on
MythVision? And I just want to add one thing too. So I'm learning from you guys, and again, if I had more time, I'd be way more deeper in the language. But here's the other thing. I see plot points, I see evocation, and we don't know exactly what happened, right? But the fact that, imagine there was a group that did XYZ and then tyrannically took over and did ABC, the predictive measure of the output of that system would be what we're seeing right now. So if you're just telling me they were just being nice people back then and not doing drugs and we're all this fairy tale shit, the output of the system, the physics of that framework and that system and the center of morality would not look like it looks right now. I have no idea how people don't see that pattern, but maybe I'm autistic in that sense. So it's you don't even have to tell me the language sometimes. I'm just there it is. There's the echo of the pattern of the sex cult and the speaking in tongues. There it is.
Yes.
It's right there in front of us.
So I'm gonna read from my book, my book, the Towel of Minerva, before we watch this, because it's particularly sweet, and I absolutely love this. So this is from the essay. If you have the hard copy, it's on page 36. It's called Essay 1 on Satire: A Clown's Word Salad. Satire, clowns, and the poop jokes that hold them all together. I opened the essay by saying this. It is customary to start a piece of this sort with a quote from a dead German dude. I do not wish to offend my audience, so I shall indulge. Quote, "The history of all hitherto societies is the history of y'all struggling to understand satire." Fred Marx on the use value and abuse value of history, page 666. Quote, "The word satire and satirist suffer from the same annoying problem that all of us who play with the concept of words know all too well. That problem is simple. Dictionaries suck. If you look up the word satirist in a dictionary, you're bound to find something along the lines of a person who does satire, which obviously leads you to looking up the word satire. A few words later, those dirty words show up: irony and Bob forbid politics. It's all downhill from there, bud. You stared into the abyss And now those words that you just read are staring back at you and they don't make sense anymore. I smell what you're stepping in. Get used to it. This problem never ends. It's probably best to just let that holy book tell the dullards what those words mean and not think too much about it ever again. I promise I will absolutely not overcome this problem, but I will overthink and overcomplicate this problem. And now that I think about it, I've thought about this a lot. The Towel of Minerva. I wrote about this 3 years ago, and all of you dullards were not listening. You were not listening. And now, knowing what you know now, we are going to watch Richard Carrier answer a question that Steve from Cross Bible asked him that I asked. I said, please ask Richard Carrier this. And this is 20 minutes of Richard Carrier making an absolute ass of himself.
All right. Is it showing?
Push play and see what happens.
Mark actually did describe Jesus having a 9-year-old boy.
Let's go.
Ladies and gentlemen, there is a Greek expert, philologist, Ammon Hillman. He was on Danny Jones. He's on some big podcasts. And I give a background knowledge here, gave a phone call to Danny Jones because I said, hey, man, you were on Joe
Real quick. Lovely studio.
Rogan, and he clarified that no one will touch this guy with a 1,000-foot pole. Maybe implying he's invincible and right, and they all know it.
Right.
Which just feeds the rot in people's brains that are looking for insanity. I honestly think it just helps feed that kind of conspiracy mind.
Yeah.
But either way, it fits
so smart.
their audience.
The narrative there that I think Ammon Hillman himself is pushing is that no one will debate him. That this is relevant. This is relevant. We'll bring this up in a moment.
I told Danny, I got someone who will debate him. Ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time watching Dr. Richard Carrier, we'll debate him.
For those of y'all that are just now tuning in, this was a video released, I believe, today, right?
Yeah, it just came out a few hours ago.
Okay.
Obviously, Hillman didn't want to do it. So point blank, period.
Yeah.
He won't debate you. He
That's
only
right.
looks to debate West Huff apologists, stuff like that. But he's such an expert. So
Yeah.
I have a question from
All
Stephen
right,
Nelson from Cross Bible.
Yeah.
My buddy Steve.
I want to ask you, knowing what you know now about how Ammon Hillman's doing satire and all of that, is it any wonder that he doesn't debate an atheist and he only wants to, ridicule and mock and abuse Christians?
It shouldn't be a surprise because the atheist point of view typically is built on the fairy tale. So you're going to get lost in argument. And I get the philosophical argument. I love Hitchens and all that other stuff, but they're basing everything off of what he's telling you. The texts don't seem to say, or at least are pointing different directions. So it's kind of a waste of time because you have to open up that lens before then you can start having that argument, because they're arguing of whether Santa Claus is real and he came to town or not. And not that Santa Claus was feeding his reindeers mushrooms and drinking their piss or whatever the hell he was doing, right?
Yeah, right.
So I'm saying it's like a totally, like, not to mention, like, anyway, go ahead.
So it should come as no surprise that a satirist isn't going to entertain arguing against Richard Carrier live, because there's nothing to gain, right? It's an anti-Christian, anti-Catholic church satire. That's the point of it. That is the direction and the target. And in this, they take that and they just brush it off. They go, whatever, fuck that, and throw it out there, right? And it blows my mind. So let's continue going.
There we go.
Even as you know, is huge into Greek, loves the Greek. And I love that he loves it.
Super knowledgeable too. Like he knows his stuff.
Great resource. He's very careful and takes his time on really looking at the detail.
Yeah.
So
it really shows the difference between someone who has a proper critical mindset about, like, if you're going to quote unquote do your own research, if you have a good methodology about that, like how you're supposed to like try to prove yourself wrong and like, test hypotheses, etc., then you get a good result. But a lot of people who quote unquote do their own research don't do it correctly. And so they come up with, that's
real
pause.
Quick. Yeah, I was going to say.
You can speed it up too when we're watching it.
If you could speed it up like twice. Yeah.
Oh, I can do that.
Yeah,
I was going to say, me doing this research, I don't know if they're referring to like a guy like myself or just other people or the crowd that's in the chat on the live streams on his show, Ammon's show. But the research that I'm doing is bringing everything that academia is not going to focus on. So even though everybody knows how to conduct research in line with academia. I mean, I can promise you now, I can fake the funk and, pass every course with it, learn all the things that are traditionally taught with anything. It doesn't matter what it is. But we already know the norm, the generic. Everybody already knows the story that's already on the table. That's why they're freaking atheists in the first place. And the reason why they like hearing what Ammon's doing is because it agitates the Christians, which are the very same people that these same atheists sometimes, or just non-religious deists or something, they like having that ammunition, because they themselves, just like me, when I would engage with people and want to piss them off by knowing stuff or asking them questions they couldn't answer, whatever, just assuming that they didn't really have much of an education in the religion anyway. And that's why everyone likes the material. It's because it gives them stuff that's going to go over people's heads that has historical significance, and they don't believe the story is true in the first place anyway. So the fact that that's not, I'm sure that they would understand that, both of these guys, but that's not being talked about here. So go ahead, man.
And also, I want to say, little Ricky, I met your challenge. What did I do methodologically that was wrong here? Show me a philology style guide, show me a history style guide, show me anything that I just did tonight that doesn't that disagrees with your whatever you claim to be methodologically valid. What did I do wrong? Please dissect everything I did, because I don't see anything wrong with what I did. I could have written this up in a peer-reviewed paper and went through line by line, just like I did, had give all the citations and follow up with all of his original sources and all of that. And everything that I said was perfectly valid. So how come, you can't do that? Right? Like, show your homework, fuckface. Show your homework. Right? I'm challenging Richard Carrier to show his fucking homework, because this book showed how flawed his methodology is. What did I do that is methodologically invalid? Right? Like, I would love to see that. And
I would like to add an opinion in here, since we're gonna watch a video with a bunch of fucking opinions and shit. Y'all just want to be fucking famous YouTubers. We're looking for inspiration and looking for how deep this is going to go. And yeah, if this turns out to be a thing that Witch Doctor gets a cool channel, he's a great guy. That's great. All right. But that's all you guys want. And I find it pathetic. I mean, greed stains your soul with the stench of ruin, man.
I did perfectly valid history. Nothing that I did, I did better. I gave a better explanation of the history of satire and how it relates to this topic than fucking little Ricky did, right? Yeah. And this boy, your boy James down here is so fucking triggered. It's amazing. I love it. I'm
watching. I'm trying to listen to y'all.
No, he's just being a little bitch made cunt. So
I just threw it on the screen. Hey, guys, there's been a lot of war going on lately, which is why I'm wearing the body armor. Okay?
I'll fist fight this dude, James. I don't give a fuck.
You don't gotta explain that thing. We're on a YouTube channel. Come on, guys,
match.
Grow up.
Yeah. No, I'll find him. I'll fist fight him. No, I'll just do it straight to his face in front of
him. We'll do it for charity.
No, I don't do it for charity. I'll do it for fun. I'll punch that motherfucker right in his face. I don't give a fuck.
You know how they're doing these matches now. Okay, let's pull this back up. Ready to go?
And yeah, keep going.
It becomes a joke, doing your own research, right? People make fun of that. But there are people who do it methodologically correctly. They have the right sort of self-critical point of view to make sure they're right, etc. And Nelson's one of those who does that really well. And so that's how you end up being good at it, on your own without going through a whole PhD program.
Right. And I'll tell you background. When me and Nelson, we did a 5-hour video. We had the conclusion in our minds that he is incompetent, talking about Ammon Hillman, that because there's stuff that's so blundered, it's so clearly not the case. If you're looking at the Greek lexicons, it's just what?
Yeah. And if the people viewing right now don't, if they don't already know, I've written a whole takedown of this. So you can find it on my blog. You just search his name.
What's it titled?
We have looked at it. We read it. We did a review of it. I pulled up the citations that Steve pulled out of that article, gave it to it. I did it live. I read through the source, came across the ephemeron and ambrosia references as one of the coined burning purple references.
The ambrosias in Henderson too. I can show you that later if you want. I can show you.
What's cool is when I say I was doing some really good research and I started out with the conclusion that this is what I wanted to find and whatever else, because I'm a really academic minded person looking for evidence. Go fuck yourselves.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely hilarious, man.
Are you sure you want that?
I don't know. You can bleep out this spot.
You might have to.
You gotta bleep out this spot.
And I have to point this out. I actually had that worry when I wrote the article, right? It was like, God, is this gonna like create some sort of algorithmic punishment because I'm using words that are bad, right? And I'm realizing like the fucker's forcing me to do this because these are the words he's using, and like he's forcing us to talk about this stuff. And it's the kind of stuff that's gonna get like censored or algorithmed or whatever. And so like people get.
Did you say something?
Yeah, Ammon's on Lady Babylon right now doing the exact same thing. Roasting the shit out of Richard Carrier. Yeah. Roasting the shit out of him. Just like, fuck him, dude. This is great.
Like demonetized talking about it because he's not supposed to talk about this stuff, which I find really annoying because it makes it difficult to talk about it. But anyway, so I just lean totally into that. And let's see if I get, I'm just going around.
Titles alone worth the read.
Here's the title, 1st September 2025 blog article. Ammon Hillman is not telling you the truth. The Gospels do not describe and no one was getting high on.
Yeah, that's a hell of a title for you. So Stephen and I have seen some crazy antagonism in that 5-hour giving background to people. Stephen has all sorts of videos. Go subscribe to Cross Bible. Check out crossbible.com. Shameless plug for my friend here. But his question is, one of Ammon Hillman's staunch defenders, apologists, another way of putting it, argues that he...
Staunch defenders and apologists.
Yes, that's what you are, dude.
Come on, man. How did that... Like, how did this question get framed to him like this? You know what I mean?
Because like, this is how fucking influencers and salesmen work, and like propagandists. He's a fucking Florida salesman. I know this motherfucker.
But here's the thing: is that
born in Texas, man. This is a salesman.
Like I'm not saying Steve did this. You know what I mean? I'm just saying like
no. I'm just
the
saying,
framing
the
here, guys. Like what is going? The framing here is crazy, and he also ends up like. At the end saying, oh, maybe this Mandy guy is just some fucking crazy guy on the outside and doesn't matter and is irrelevant to the conversation. But like, come on, dude, I'm an apologist. Like I showed you Henderson.
I gotta get this shirt he's got. I'm gonna wear this shit. The same exact shirt. All right. Y'all ready?
Keep going.
All right, Mr. Buttery Nips. Let's go.
Ammon operates. Oh no, sorry. The defender of Ammon operates as a performative satirist.
Wait, are we sure it's? Wait,
it might be Ammon. It might be Ammon.
We need to get clear on this. So I thought that was the argument.
Yeah, one of Ammon Hillman's staunch defenders argues that he operates as a performative satirist. So I think it is Ammon.
Yeah, keep going.
And that this role grants him, Ammon, artistic license to reinterpret text freely without adhering to traditional standards of academic accountability. What's your take on that? Does labeling Hillman's content as satire alter the standards of scholarly responsibility?
That's such a weird defense because it's basically admitting I'm right. Like you're basically saying, oh yeah, it's all bullshit. None of it is true. But it's okay that he can say all these false things because it's a joke, right? And so
who said that? It's just a joke.
I mean, I guess like that, but that's not. You're no longer talking about academic. You're not talking about academic standards anymore, right? You're talking about, oh, well, he's not even doing academic.
He's
stuff.
A joke.
Yeah, like he's.
Lady Babylon
cut this guy down. He's cutting himself down in front of us.
Lady Babylon is not an academic channel. Lady Babylon is a satire channel. So if you're talking about Lady Babylon, you're talking about satire. It is a parody of the Magic School Bus. You stupid fucks, right? Like how can you?
Rogers Neighborhood.
Dude, how can
fucking Mr. Rogers Neighborhood?
Dude, so here's the thing: is that like I was in the groups when the idea started spitballing about Lady Babylon, right? I was there since day one from the first fucking cult meetings. It just so happens that everybody that was in those groups also happens to be fucking satirists. Wow, why did Ammon surround himself with satirists when he first started his channel? Who would have thought? Like, that's such a crazy thing. No, he's not a satirist. He just surrounded himself with satirists who gave him a bunch of jokes or some shit. They're not even smart enough to make that level of this stuff. And not even smart enough to realize that I'm one of the guys who Ammon, he's using my jokes. Anytime you're watching Lady Babylon, I bet you can switch over to Lady Babylon right now. And within the next 5 minutes, he's going to mention the word smell. Anytime Ammon mentions the word smell is because he got that from me. right? It's brilliant satire. It's called Nose Gnosis and Nose Noose. And Ammon got it from day one when I fucking pitched it to him. And he said, I'm using that every single fucking show from now on. And I'm not making this shit up. He even fucking credits me in one of the shows for the idea. So fuck all of you people, right? Like, I'm not an Ammon, defender. I'm one of the guys who gave Ammon a bunch of fucking jokes that are going over your fucking idiots' heads.
Hey, these are the kids that if you were in my writing class, you're going to tell me how fucking film works. You're going to tell me how comedy works. And you're going to like tell me like, I don't know, an essay about auteur directors and how good filmmaking is. And you're going to write the worst piece of shit that I've ever seen. And then if I ever fucking say anything about it or criticize it, you're going to go into some dark rabbit hole explaining like, well, you don't understand my art. That's I'm just saying, coming from my perspective, that like, it's just like these guys are so disconnected. It's unbelievable to me.
Yeah, it's embarrassing, man. Like the fact that you don't know that Ammon is he's a post-structuralist when it comes to philosophy, which fundamentally believes in and advocates for the death of the author, right? Like, and you're gonna come in here trying to make arguments about how he doesn't care about what the author said. It's like, yeah, motherfucker, that's post-structuralism. This is like 101. Like 10 fucking 1. The death of the author, that was Ronald Barth back in like the fucking 50s, right? Like, guys, catch up, right? Like, you're late to all of these debates because you come from Christendom. And the dumb is like that the dumb is that lingering stench on you, right? You're no longer Christian, but you're still fucking dumb. All right, let's keep going.
Telling jokes, he's making stuff up. It's so it's like, that's not academics. So no, it doesn't change the standards of academics. You're just saying that he's not an academic, that now he's just Andy Kaufman or whatever, right? So like it's just some sort of like performative art, right, or whatever. So you can't rely on him. You can't say that anything he's saying is true, because now you're saying that he himself is saying that it's not true. So I think that really what I would say to someone who's saying like that is that, well, okay, so then you're just saying that it's all false, and you're just trying to justify why it's okay to say false things.
Yeah.
I don't believe you, but I could say, like, if that's what you want to believe in your heart
about,
yeah, right, then you should agree with me that everything he says is false. Like, it's a word. That's it, right? Academically, you're just admitting that everything he says is false, and so you can't rely on him for facts or anything like that.
Pause.
I mean, if that's
so, Galileo. Everything Galileo said was false because he decided to to present his work as satire. Everything that Galileo said was false, according to Richard Carrier. Throw Galileo right out with Medea's bathwater, you fucking dullard. Keep going.
Yeah. Yep.
Right.
Yep.
And I don't think they understand when the satire light switch gets cut on, and then when he goes into ultimately just talking about something from.
Yeah, but it's also a skill set. Like, if I make a joke and I'm like, slavery, real good, right? Like, or I'm doing something, I'm playing a character. What am I really saying? Right. What am I evoking inside of you? I'm evoking that this shit is evil. Who do you think, like, Leonardo DiCaprio was in Django Unchained?
He gives an example of that.
Version, and he's telling you that slavery is awful and it's this evil shit, and it's telling you through a character who's going is confidently doing this brilliant performance of like saying the worst shit you've ever heard. Wake up, everybody. Good God.
Where they want to go. In fact, that's like an own goal. I'm like, welcome them to use that defense. That's great. I like that. Spread that around. The question is though, like, would Ammon Hillman say that? Like, to say, will he come out and say, yeah, it's just all performative art. It's all, I'm not really serious about any of this stuff. Like, is he himself going to say that? Because that's not how he's acting. That's not how like when he's talking about no one will debate me, it's like, that sounds like you think you're telling the truth. Yeah. That doesn't sound like a performance art.
He's so
So anyway, so I think the parsing you have to do there is like, well, what are we actually saying then, right? Like, if you're going to say that he's just a satirist, then you're also saying that it's all false and therefore has no academic value, and we can just
pause.
Like, if you want to go for entertainment purposes,
that's called a straw man. For anybody who doesn't already know what that term is, that is not in any way, shape, or form anything that I have ever said. Right? Who said that just because Ammon Hillman is doing satire means it's all bullshit? That's called a straw man.
There's
dullard.
Different elements going on with what he does, and it's very easy to understand. And not to defend him in any sort of particular way. It's just this material, people have been doing this for so long now. And like I said, I'm just trying to gather all the information because I'm writing a book. Anyway, ready to go?
Rock and roll.
No.
I go watch him say silly things and sure, whatever. But no, it doesn't have anything to do with the truth in that case.
If he's like literally this guy who's like a satirist, and he's only doing this as a joke, why, when he's talking about little boys, right, in this example of the Gospels, this Neoniskos, and then gets corrected in the background by Carl Ruck. Carl Ruck's like, no, that's factually wrong. It's a young man. And then he ends up going back later in the same lecture to the little boy. Yeah, like, you're right. That is a young man. And then he goes back to little. I really think he's like, something's off, and I can't put my finger.
Yeah, that's I talk about that in my article too. Towards the end, I bring that up possibility that he might just be crazy, right?
No, guys, it's just to piss people off. That's all it is. It's just to piss people off to keep saying that he's 8 or 9 years old. Besides the fucking fact that there are other verses that other philosophy guys have referred to in regards to Jesus having these inappropriate encounters with people that are minors.
Yes, listen. If someone walked around today and had a whole bunch of young teenage boys, let's be like nice about it and say they're 15 to 17 or 18 or even 20 or 25, and they've given all of their shit to him, and they're walking around and they're doing parties in back rooms and drinking wine and going out on the boat and stuff.
Right.
Do you think anybody's going to look at that dynamic and go, that's probably just people hanging out and having a good time? There's nothing wrong with that. It literally happened in my town. Like a guy who was really wealthy, who had been, I don't know, taking young surfers on surf trips all the time and doing all this other stuff, like giving that, like sometimes buying them a home, sometimes giving them money for a car. What did he just get busted for? You can take a big guess.
Yep.
How do humans work?
And also, you know, now that everybody knows about Ruck Scooter, let's apply Ruck Scooter to this situation. Hey guys, what if Neoniskos is guess what? A pun. Let's keep going. They never considered that. No.
But here's the thing. It's like, so we've been posed this question. It's like, okay, is it okay to do performance art? The thing is like, he wrote an article that was supposed to be an academic article for what was supposed to be an academic book. So did he think that he was pulling a Sokol hoax, that it was like, I tricked an academic into publishing my garbage, right? Like to denounce academia for like, how dare you publish?
Actually, let him finish.
Completely, obviously false things. Like if that was his crusade, like, you know, I get with him. I'm like, yeah, you got a point there.
Right.
Like if it was all false, I made it up just to see how easy it would be to get this garbage past peer review. And like, yeah, okay. Like if that's your mission, I would get behind it. But obviously that's not what he's doing. That's your whole point. He's not doing that. He's not saying, oh yeah.
Pause. That is the only interesting thing that an academic has ever said about Ammon's toxicology and antiquity article, is that if he's a satirist, that means there's the possibility that that article was a hoax. That's brilliant, dude. And do you guys know how many strips of Francis Bacon Ammon is away from Morton Smith? How many strips of Francis Bacon is Ammon away from Morton Smith? Do you guys know? Do you guys know who Morton Smith is?
You've mentioned him in the comments before.
You don't know who Morton
I'll
Smith is?
I'll say no on my end.
We pulled it up on the first time you came on.
Okay, so Morton Smith is famous for translating the PGM with, guess who?
I don't know.
Scarborough.
Yeah.
Everybody knows Scarborough through Ammon because Ammon studied under Scarborough. He translated the PGM with Morton Smith. Morton Smith is famous for the secret Gospel of Mark. Do you guys know about the secret Gospel of Mark?
We just cracked that open.
Yes, that comes from Morton Smith. Right?
That's
Morton
right. Okay.
Smith discovered the secret Gospel of Mark.
That's where we had it. Yeah.
Exactly. Little did you know, this entire time, Ammon is one single Francis Bacon strip away from Morton Smith. Morton Smith, all right? The secret Gospel of Mark, it is still debated to this day whether or not it's authentic or a forgery. Is it a hoax? Guess what, Richard Carrier, you fucking dullard? You just stepped into something absolutely brilliant. It's the same exact fucking subject, the same exact subject as something that everybody is still debating whether or not it's a fucking forgery or a hoax. The only interesting thing that anybody has ever said, and he still steps on a fucking rake. Still steps on a fucking rake, dude. He could have just said, like the Morton Smith, like the Secret Gospel of Mark. Oh, isn't that interesting? But no, he's a fucking dullard. And what he does is continues to fucking, do this Nambla shit. So let's keep going.
All right. Sorry.
It was all bogus. It was a joke.
So this reflects more of a light on the person who's trying to defend Ammon. And this
it's a really weird defense. I don't understand like how they think that helps their position. Like what? I don't
get Ammon off the hook. Because I think I know.
No, but it doesn't. Is my point. Is you're basically you're throwing him under the bus.
I get it. Right? Like it gets in their mind and their defending of this AI. It gets Ammon off the hook in their mind for everyone to get off Ammon's back about don't take it this serious. It's all.
And then they Mott and Bailey, and then they immediately go to it's all serious, and we can use it as truth.
Right.
Yeah. Like okay. Yeah. If that's to get to that point. This particular critic who's claiming this about Ammon Hillman. I mean, first of all, Ammon Hillman could just tell us whether he's doing it or not. That would really come down.
He's not going to do that because that ruins the whole thing.
He also did on Danny Jones when he told you that it all comes from the IMs. But Richard Carrier doesn't know how the IMs and satire are intrinsically related, and they've been ever since day one. Ammon saying it all comes from the IMs and he's doing the IMs is him saying that it is satire. Period, plain and simple. It's Iambe flapping around her little pussy to make Demeter laugh. If you guys don't know that, you're fucking idiots, right? And Richard Carrier writes all of this stuff about the mystery rights in his fucking book, and he can't recognize that Ammon is trying to make Demeter laugh, not his audience. He's actually trying to make his audience and his detractors look like absolute fucking idiots.
Yes,
I just showed you.
There's the dinner for schmucks.
Exactly.
There's the payoff, and that's
exactly.
They haven't mentioned me on any of this stuff. But I imagine that they know who the fuck I am and that I've looked at the stuff. I'm sure even Carrier's even at least seen that this particular little purple dude has, his thumbnails on a couple of my, his pictures on a couple of my thumbnails. But it's so not really frustrating or anything, but to see the obvious satire when it's being created in that theater, it ruins it, which is why he's not gonna come on and debate anybody unless they are themselves living in a bullshit existence like a exorcist.
He's not going to debate anybody that doesn't
doing a goddamn thing that you're saying you're doing, and that's where this lifestyle of living completely engulfed in the character, Ammon does it also. But to piss them off. And so I wish they would say that in these things because it makes it look like we don't get it. And it's like, we totally get it. Do you not get it? Or do you just not want to say it because then that lets him off the hook and y'all like having the material, and I'm using the material too. But like I said, I'm writing a book about a Roman soldier meeting Jesus and, a secret gospel, if you will. So yeah, I need to know what kind of things would be appropriate in this particular scene. And it's okay if it's something that you don't believe because the whole fucking thing is made up. So that's what they don't get, is that we don't care to a certain degree, but what the hell, you certainly take the wind out of people's sails. Just trying to entertain, you end up learning all this other shit when you just even get into this. I mean, Ammon is responsible for so many atheists reading the fucking Bible now.
Yeah.
And going to crossbible.com. Check it out.
Inspiration, baby.
A childhood friend.
But if this guy wants to, what you want to do is you want to see if he Motts and Bailey. So explain to the audience, I'm going to explain this. Mott and Bailey is a particular strategy of argument. It's a disingenuous strategy of argument. And the idea is that like the Mott is like the fortress, and then you have like farmland and you have a wall, like a low wall around it. And that's the Bailey, right? So the Bailey is hard to defend because it's a weak position. The strong position is the Mott. So there's an argument form called this, where you start at the Bailey, you make this ridiculous argument that's easy to refute. Like, oh yes, Mark actually did describe Jesus having sex with a 9-year-old boy. That's easily refutable. It's not at all true. And then you retreat to the Mott, and it's like, oh, ha, it's just satire. And it's like, okay, okay, well then, there's nothing really to criticize other than the fact that it's disgusting, gross, dumb jokes that I don't get.
It makes you look at the passage and it creates the argument on purpose as the golden chaos apple.
Right. So that's an easier position to defend, that it's not true. But the problem is that you've sacrificed the Bailey now. Like, you've lost the argument that you started with. And so that can get people to go away because, we can't get into the Mont, so they leave. And then what do? You retreat back to the Bailey, and now you're arguing that it's all true.
But you never lose an argument with a Christian because their religion is made up. So at the end of the day, you're still not going to be they're going to always be outside of the realm of possibility. Whereas even if we say that he was a fucking snake charmer and all those shit, it's like, well, that has more validity based on the time period and the cultural surroundings and the artwork to say something like that. But, to say that you had fucking Hercules walking around is, it put you away the fucking straitjacket. It's just, we're still living in the era. So you're at the tail end of it.
To say that it's an ineffective Malton Bailey is so fucking stupid, because what the people that are arguing against you are saying Ammon's 100% wrong.
Yes.
And then the other people that are making the absurd claim that Ammon's 100% right? What happens is that if you make an absurd claim that Ammon is 100% right, if you go and convince somebody who says that Ammon is 100% wrong, that he is at least 10% right, the Malton Bailey was effective. Does that make any sense? Like, as the performative art satirical piece, what Richard Carrier is doing right now is he's making the mistake that Ammon is doing dialectics, right? He is saying, Richard Carrier is demonstrating the dialectic purpose, the disingenuous dialectic purpose, the disingenuous purpose of a Malton Bailey with regards to dialectics. Everybody knows, and I've been saying this for 3 years, that Ammon is doing eristics, right? The Malton Bailey serves a different purpose in eristics as opposed to dialectics. All right. So it's a brilliant Malton Bailey if you actually agree that it's a Malton Bailey, because, every person that, says Ammon is 100% wrong, if they go, he's 99% wrong, that's 1%. But you have other people who say, oh, he's actually 87% correct, according to Mandy Moorehol, right? Brilliant fucking Malton Bailey. And I didn't do what Richard Carrier is claiming that I would do, right? I'm still not defending Ammon. I'm actually defending the concept of an eristic Malton Bailey, which Richard Carrier doesn't understand, because Richard Carrier doesn't understand eristics. I've explained how Ammon is doing eristics. Ammon quoted Schopenhauer in fucking The Chemical Muse. Just like I showed you how he quoted Henderson in The Chemical Muse, he quoted Schopenhauer as well. Schopenhauer wrote a satire about how to use eristics to win every debate ever. Wow.
He sort of reminds me of Flint Dibble a little bit, where it's like, no, they're all quacks. Don't listen to anything they say. Come listen to me, and it's the same fucking story.
Do you know my relationship with Flint Dibble? Do you know? Is anybody here? Okay, so Flint Dibble has a new show on YouTube. It's called Old News with Flint Dibble. OLDE, Old News, right? It's archaeological news. It's about things that are old. Does anybody know who named Flint Dibble's new show? I did. Hi, me. I named Flint Dibble's new show. I'm a moderator on Flint Dibble. I was at the time a moderator on Flint Dibble's YouTube channel. And he was talking, hey, I want to start a new show. I need a name. And I said, Old News with Flint Dibble. And he said, Old News with Flint Dibble. Old News with Flint Dibble. I like that, Mandy. That's a great idea. And then he wrote it down. And then somebody else was using that name. Flint Dibble contacted them and said, hey, I want to use this name. Is there anything that we can do here? It took a few months. Now Flint Dibble has a show called Old News with Flint Dibble. Guess what? I'm the guy who did that. I named that. I'm also the guy who invented rickrolling, and I'm also the guy responsible for every time Ammon mentions the word smell. It's almost like I'm around in all of these circles. Who would have fucking thought? I'm not an Ammon defender. I'm actually a Flint Dibble defender. Who would have fucking thought? I'm one of Flint Dibble's staunchest defenders. I mock that dude Dan Debunking all the time. If you go to that dude Debunking Dan or whatever, Dan Debunking, if you go to his show, if you go to his show, every single one of his posts, you will find me telling him to stop crying. Every single post. And the only thing I say is stop crying. It's so fucking funny. I've been doing it since his debate with Flint Dibble. It's wonderful.
Yeah, let's do it. All right.
Let's go.
And it wasn't a satire after all. And so it's just a strategy to get people to go away. It doesn't actually defend the position that you actually want to defend. So the question is, does this particular critic, do they ever go to the Bailey? Like, are they consistent? Do they just always use it as though it's not factually true? Are they consistent in that position, or do they keep switching to the Bailey?
This person they're talking about is a guy named Mandy, and I think he's always still says it's all satire. What's really odd is that people who are arguing with this person about this, and I've heard him say the whole Bible is satire.
Right? Yeah.
So they have this like everything satire kind of procession of everything in the world. Life is a satire against everything.
Gravitation of lunatics to the same. Yeah, like all these different kinds of people.
Pause. I'm a lunatic. I'm a lunatic. Come on,
Me
buddy.
too, man. Hey,
I'm a
baby, we're
lunatic.
lunatics together. Let's go.
Apparently, I'm a lunatic.
God
I'm the one.
forbid you learn about ancient alabaster.
What a fucking idiot,
Who have
dude.
these crazy ideas like attached to this. Like
It's a strange thing to me because I imagine satire is a particular category of genre.
yeah,
like,
it's
You know,
also
it's strange to me how thin your damn legs look compared to your upper body, Derek.
Come on,
funny
buddy.
that you could go. Like, if let's say Ammon Hillman comes out and just admits it, it's all satire, it's a joke, etc. He's not gonna. But let's
I mean, I could always help him out, but he doesn't want to be friends anymore after I fucking showed him the goat.
say he did that, right? And then, well, now we can just go walk away, really. He says, oh, well, this is all false and we're done.
Yeah.
Move on. And then, but then you actually, because he's switching then out of academia into comedy, he's saying, oh, this is comedy, not academia. Well, now we get to criticize him as a comedian, right? And so,
who said he's doing comedy? It is funny, but that's not what satire means. It does not mean that you get to use your wrong genre critique, right?
No, Mandy. Entertainment and theater and movies are like just for artsy fartsy kids. It's not about being smart. It's like, you know, we're the smart ones and they're just kind of weird, you know, art kids. It's not the real thing. That's what I feel like he's saying.
It would
You know what I'm saying?
it would be like him fucking critiquing how well Weird Al raps on Amish Paradise.
Yes.
Right? Like,
Yes.
you fucking idiot. That's not the point. Like, that's not the fucking point.
He's not a good rapper. I mean,
yeah,
he's a horrible rapper. You know, like coming at Weird Al that way would be ridiculous. Yeah.
That's not the point of his work.
I love his
right?
Daniel Radcliffe movie about.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Good.
But is everything fucking is you know
it's because he's jealous. It's
well,
this motherfucker's got no charisma and he's got no fucking evocation or inspiration or anything. Sorry, man.
is Weird Al's
outta here.
brilliant fucking polka what's the squeeze box, the accordion, his brilliant squeeze box playing, like, does that mean that he's not serious because Weird Al is a satirist? Come on, like, it's such a ridiculous, nonsensical, like, critique. I don't understand how somebody who has a PhD can be saying this. Like,
because no one's listening to him.
There you go. Why. Yeah, that's probably why. Yeah,
and other people.
Like, if we're gonna do that, now I wrote an article about this.
What are you saying?
No, I was just
a theory of humor and
shit talking.
Right? And then I don't think he'd survive critique because I think his jokes aren't funny. Like the satire is like, it's disturbing rather than funny, right? Like, if you're talking about like what is a good satire, like what is a joke that is a racist joke that people laugh?
He doesn't like it, but I, you know, obviously before all the stuff that we've had going on with YouTube with my channel and stuff, I completely got it, you know, and I like the way that he was teaching because he keep your attention and stuff. But it just chaps the balls of guys that go through the whole process of becoming a PhD. And I don't know, I guess I think there's a little bit of I should be getting this attention, not this guy.
Yes.
But I also want to point something out about the words that Richard Carrier is using, right? What is a good satire, right? What did I say? What did I say? What did I say from the top? Satire is not a noun; it's an adjective.
That's right.
Those words don't make sense, buddy. Like, you're saying incoherent nonsense, and I'm a lunatic. Come on, dude. Like, use your words. You have a PhD. Saying a good satire, that doesn't make sense. Like,
dude,
it's not a noun. It's not a noun. You're using the wrong words.
This is like people that like say like, well, you know, hey man, karate versus jujitsu. That's not real fighting. Like, they do that kind of game. Well, that's not real. That's just grappling. that's just like they're just hugging each other and stuff. That's not like real fighting. It's like get in the ring with them then. Like, you know what I mean? Just because you can't learn it and you can't do it and you can't perform it doesn't make it like all of a sudden wrong and you're fucking superior and right with your fake black belt ass to like fucking 300 pounds walking around teaching people like fake karate. Come on, man.
It's even worse. It's actually even worse than that, because it's sort of like if one of these guys got into a street fight and somebody broke a bottle over their face and then started crying about how breaking a bottle over their face is against the rules of boxing.
That's correct.
Right? It's like a street fight doesn't adhere to the rules of boxing. It's an
this isn't real fighting. It's like, excuse me?
I've broken bottles over plenty of dudes' faces in street fights. Sorry, like it's perfectly valid in a street fight. You know what I mean? Like I what I'm trying to do is give really valid analogies to show how absurd this stuff is, because that comes out of the philosophical school that I adhere to is, hilarious, finding truth through analogy. You know what I mean? Finding the absurdity through the analogy. So if y'all want to use the street fight analogy there, please do, because it's absolutely perfect. Let's go.
Right. Like that's different from a joke.
Racism.
Yeah. Right. Well, it's also different from a joke. Like you could go to the Chappelle show. This is I use examples from the Chappelle show where there are jokes that if you took them out of context would look like racist jokes, but in context, what you're laughing at is racism, right? Like that's making fun of racism. Chappelle himself has talked about this. Like he's saying there was a moment when he did one of these and then he caught the audience laughing at it for the wrong reasons, so that they were actually laughing with the racists rather than against the racists. And that was part of his process of why he left comedy for a while. Is that like people are not getting it and I don't know what to do about this, right? So but that's the same thing where like you can analyze, like, is the humor actually like is this humor that's designed for to laugh at?
I definitely think it's funny,
right? Exactly, yeah. So
and I think he's serious.
Yeah, so true.
That's the crazy part.
Yeah. But even if he's a satirist and not serious, there's still a critique there. Is that then? Well, now we get to critique him on this.
Pause. Why do they keep saying a satirist is not serious? How does that make any sense, right? You realized that they're trying to just drive this into their audience. Correct. Drive it home. Boom, boom, boom. Satire means it's a joke. It's a joke. It's not serious. It's a joke. It's a
magic trick, bro. It's a magic trick.
You're shitting on Galileo, you cunt. Keep going.
What is the moral point behind your joke? Like, it's not a good one. So like you're not really you're not taking down.
Does he really not understand? He really doesn't. He
confidently doesn't understand.
At first I could not tell if they're avoiding the obvious here just for the sake of the argument and the video that, my home dog's going to make some money off of this. It's 20 minutes. It's going to get reviewed. It's going to get shared. It's going to get a lot of views. Kind of like when he brought Kip on. But let's go.
On the Pope or anything. Like, you're not making fun of the Catholic Church as an international factory. It sounds like you're kind of like making fun of people who make fun of that, really, right? Like, it sounds like your joke is pro rabbi.
Phil, in some of it. So just addressing that person and then addressing what you're saying, the person will always deflect and turn it back on you.
Yeah. Exactly.
It's your problem. You're not understanding.
That's right.
It's a joke.
Yeah.
They do this to defend.
Yeah, and that there's a whole.
Well,
I just explained why it's your problem that you're not understanding the joke. You didn't read Henderson. Sorry.
Right. And you don't even have to read that much to get it. Like, and if you're the kind of guy that appreciates this backhand to Christianity, there's no way they don't get this. There's no fucking way they don't understand.
No, there's a real good way. Like, if you're obsessed with your brain and you think your thoughts are real, cognitive dissonance is real, and we all got it to a degree.
Don't the religions have it?
I'm talking about just everyday conversation, everyday interaction with people, man. Like, and I don't think they do. Part of me doesn't think they do, or if they did, and this is all an act, that's pretty malicious. Gotta say.
Every human being has what is called a neuro-linguistic reality tunnel, right? The way that you see the world, your reality tunnel, the screen that you see everything through, the lens, all of that is defined by the way that you understand the words around you, right? So Richard Carrier and Derek here believe that the word satire means joke.
Yes.
So what they are doing is crossing,
like dick and fart joke, like stupid joke.
Yeah, they think that the word satire means joke, but the word satire does not mean joke. The word joke means joke, and the word satire means satire, right?
Yes.
It would be like saying that it's red and green at the same time, or yellow and blue at the same time, a yellow blue thing, a green red thing, you know, a round square thing, right? They're not the same thing. It's not that they're opposites. It's that they can be funny. Satire can be funny. Satire can include jokes, but just like the Fight Club example, it does not have to.
Yeah, it's almost like the same time where the word for anointing and Christing appear together, but they mean the same thing. Isn't that weird? Anyway, keep going.
Well, anointing is a word that we have now, but back in the day, Seaman just did a video on this where he talks about the difference of perfuming, oiling, or medicated salving something. But anyway,
so getting back to Richard Carrier not understanding what the words not understand what the words mean and the importance of using the proper words to convey what it is you're talking about, you know, satire and joke being the example. Throughout his article, his blog posts, he uses the word hallucinogen. Ammon Hillman only uses the word hallucinate once, and it's a secondhand account of somebody saying somebody else was hallucinating. It is not Ammon using the word hallucinate. Ammon uses the word entheogen and aphrodisiac. That is not the same thing as a hallucinogen. You only need to go as far as fucking Hoffman's goddamn article in the same fucking book. Hoffman's chapter in the book says why this is important, and scholars should not make that mistake. So Richard Carrier, throughout his fucking Neil thinks this isn't really all that important of a point within, you know, the overall context of all the things Carrier gets wrong, but I think it's important to everybody in this room and everybody in the audience. If somebody went in and started critiquing somebody saying hallucinogen, when the proper terminology is aphrodisiac or entheogen, everybody knows you're an amateur and you're full of shit and you're in the wrong place and you're in over your head, right? Like, you don't need a PhD to do that. If you went to a fucking, you know, to a festival, you know, a fucking to see fish or some shit, or string cheese incident, and you said hallucinogen instead of entheogen or aphrodisiac, people there would mock you and make fun of you. But Richard Carrier has the audacity to make such an amateurish mistake and people still take him seriously. It's crazy, dude. It's absolutely fucking crazy. Let's keep going.
Discourse logic that happens there with how when people try to critique comedy and there's pushback, etc. Yeah, and so they get in the weeds of talking about aesthetics and comedy and theory of comedy and all that stuff. But now you're not talking about academics. You're not talking about whether any of it is true or whatever. So I can see how someone might want to turn to create a distraction, to waste everyone's time arguing about that bullshit. Yeah, and you're not paying attention to the fact that it's.
But isn't that what they're doing kind of right now also? Because there's no way they don't get it.
Hey! Has there been one introduction of text yet? Sorry, just asking.
Chase, did I waste your time by showing you Henderson?
Oh, totally, dude.
Like, yeah, I'm just wasting people's time showing them.
You're making shit up, man.
Yeah, right. And that's part of that Mott Bailey.
Don't worry, he's just making up. Well, he's conceded the whole.
That's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he just surrendered the Bailey. Like, the war's over. We're like,
why watch it?
We can just starve out the tower now. Like, we don't need to retreat, right? So yeah, I think that doesn't seem like a good strategy to me for defending Ammon Hillman. Frankly.
What's other thing for me, and I've been watching for a long time, is Neil learned Greek. Originally started learning Greek with the guy and got close and knew the guy quite well.
Oh, yeah.
It understood that this guy really was, in a sense, he is very religiously motivated in this. It's not a joke. He's like a myth.
Hey, real quick, everybody smash the like on the main, page for the video, and then hit the hearts. I want to see if this will spawn to other people.
Yeah. Throw those hearts up in the side.
He believes he's into the muse and the spirits, contract with the devil, all that kind of stuff. Like, he's some mystic. So it's not, let's just play the joke game and get everyone to stop seeing how much we can over and over and over falsify everything he's saying in so many ways. But Neil knew him as like someone who's like really trying to revive the ancient Greek world in a way. And like you said, it felt like at one point he might be jabbing at the church and like, priests do this to boys, stuff like that in history. Then in other places, it sounds like he's actually saying, no, this like adult men with young boys in the ancient world, like this is the Greek way of life.
Yeah. This is one of the things that I when I was doing
Jennifer Bird talked about this, And they talked about the concept of this being in Mark and left in there so to appeal to the vast amounts of men that were doing purple butthole magic. You know, not really, but you know what I mean. And yeah, that's Jennifer Bird, PhD. You know, she does have some disclaimers, but you know, overall, she asked the same question too, and it made the cut. You know what I mean?
Critique, and I'm looking at everything from like, there's court transcripts, by the way, there's like trial transcripts that relate to this, documents and stuff, and there's like a lot of videos, and like there's a whole debate around the debate, right? And one of the things, and you kind of get the sense of it, go through my article, that I feel like, how do I put this? So it's like he's trying to create a safe space for, right? So do you remember,
Okay,
like, I don't know if you remember, but there was a time for a hot second
One
when,
second. Go ahead.
Okay, this is why I am the way I am right now. Right here.
You're fired up, bro.
I am fired up. This is why I, texted you and all this other stuff. This type of indirect accusation is serious. It's instinctually serious. This is no longer YouTube fucking about. You're saying, I don't know, whatever else. I don't like, he's saying the wrong things. And also he's making it, he believes in molesting or raping young men and all this stuff. And he's trying to make a safe space for these types of people. Dude, that is such like a incredible, like crazy thing to say about somebody. And like instinctually humans, low IQ, high IQ, they want to kill people that do that. And the fact that you just willy-nilly throw that shit out without watching any of his stuff, and this is your part of your defense, it's gross. And I can't tell if this motherfucker's malicious or if he's just so dumb he doesn't recognize what human beings are. That is reserved for real. When you're really accusing somebody of that, that is reserved for extreme punishment, man. So I got triggered. How about that? I got triggered, motherfucker.
All of this came from my question, right? And all he had to do was read Henderson, dude. Ammon is weighing in on a debate from 1975, dude, from 1975. And he's unaware of this. He's both ignorant and malicious. His PhD is worth the value of toilet paper, dude. That's all it is. It's fucking toilet paper.
He's a history PhD.
Yeah, he's a historian.
And he's focused on Roman Greek culture.
Yeah, and then after his he got
Does he not know about any of the Greek stuff? Like,
dude, he does, because a bunch of the shit's in his book with the mystery rights.
Yeah, but that's not the point. The point is to paint Ammon as some kind of pedophile who enjoys and supports pedophiles. This is like incredibly like horrible. Like,
yeah, and
look at
it's not even about the text. It's not about what Ammon's saying, and also it's indirect. It's like so obvious in contrast to if you watch Ammon's work, which you guys like have watched enough, I assume. He is the entire time talking about how bad it is. How bad it is. That's what's being evoked to me. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm interpreting.
And also, am I an Ammon defender?
No, neither am I.
No, dude, I'm saying this.
Wherever he's wrong, I say he's wrong.
Dude, I've been saying Ammon was wrong for 3 fucking years, dude. Right? 3 fucking years. Why am I saying Ammon is wrong? I have an actual fucking academic position here, right? I'm showing you the fucking the footnotes that Ammon's weighing in. I'm saying Henderson's right. Ammon says fucking Henderson's wrong and Dover's right. That's what this fucking debate comes down to. Richard Carrier is too much of a fucking bitch ass, like he's not even a fucking scholar enough to weigh in on this debate that existed in 1975, dude. This is such an old debate and he's unaware of it. Why am I the one who's aware of it, but I'm a lunatic and I'm the one defending pedophilia or some shit, or like making a safe space for it, dude? I'm just trying to show you guys how incompetent you are with your fucking research. You're not good academics. Period, plain and fucking simple. The only one of you that has any fucking any integrity is Neil from Gnostic Informant. Period. I will fucking scream that from the top of my fucking lungs. Neil is the only one out of any of you motherfuckers that has any integrity. Period. I will happily debate Ammon Hillman on Danny Jones. I'll debate him on fucking Joe Rogan. I don't give a fuck, right? I do not give a fuck. Henderson's right. Dover's wrong. Ammon's right. Or Ammon's wrong. I'm right. The kid was not a fucking little young prepubescent boy running around. Jesus wasn't fucking getting medicine from his cock. It's a pun. It's a pun, and it's a pun on the Samothrace mysteries. Plain and fucking simple. I will go on Joe Rogan's fucking podcast and debate. I'll go on Danny Jones' fucking podcast and debate Ammon on this, because that's the only fucking debate that's valid right now. And it'll be satirist versus satirist. So it'll be quite the fucking spectacle. So let's fucking do it. And here's the thing. I will not take any money to do it, right? If there's any money involved, I will donate it to a charity to buy dog food for the homeless. If it's $5,000, I will also match the fucking donation that Danny Jones gives. It's $5,000. We'll do this, and I will match with $5,000 of my own money, and we will raise $10,000 to give dog food for homeless charity for the homeless. If that's my offer. I will fucking argue this till I'm blue in the fucking face. And here's the thing. I agree with, I've shown you within reasonable doubt that Ammon is fucking 87% correct, right? Like, I disagree with Ammon on 1% of what he has to fucking say. 1 fucking percent, dude. That's it. 1%. I don't think that the kid was a fucking kid, and I don't think that the Sindon was a fucking medicated bandage. And I can show you using the fucking Samothrace mysteries how my interpretation's correct, and Ammon is wrong. Sorry. And if you think that he made 20 fucking minute videos slandering me, and I'm the one saying Ammon's wrong and giving an actual reasoned and fucking sourced academic fucking argument for it.
Mandy, the difference is, though, what he's actually saying is the fairy tale's correct. And what you're saying is more academic, nuanced, exploratory. Let's find the truth. This is all just a roundabout way to try to just say the fairy tale's true and I'm still an expert.
Well, so here's another fucking thing. Everybody who's read the Bible, what did Pilate say to Jesus about the truth? Anybody?
I can't remember these.
Veritas, what the fuck is the truth anyway, guys? What the fuck is the truth? That came from Pilate. Yeah. It's in the goddamn Bible, dude. It's in the goddamn Bible. Pilate is the only motherfucker in the entire Bible with any integrity, because he said, what is the truth? You fucking cunts. You guys are absolute amateurs if you're going around arguing what the truth is. In the Bible, the goddamn Bible tells you that doesn't know what the fucking truth is. You've never read the fucking Bible, you fucking illiterate dullards, dude. I fucking swear to God, these people are so stupid. Let's keep going.
What's it called? NAMBLA, I think it was like the National Association of Men, Boys. I don't know. Whatever. I think it was whatever it was. It was some literal organization. It was pro.
They aligned other countries and
it was saying, I don't know if they're still around or whatever. But that was a thing. Or they were through this mechanism trying to create a safe space for to be open and talking about stuff. And I kind of feel like this, but we're having a serious academic argument. Or even this, it's just satire. Like, these are excuses to allow the discourse to continue and to suck people into the discourse. So now we're okay talking about like gross fantasies and stuff because it's serious academia or it's satire, like whatever the reason is, it just is an excuse to attract to then defend their man, like, because they want to defend their safe space.
Serious academia or satire. Fuckface, I'm a satirist, and I showed you the serious academia. It's a fucking debate from 1975, and you don't know about it. You're not doing serious academia. I'm doing serious academia, and I'm a fucking satirist. You're full of shit, you cunt. Keep going.
Or now they can be out and not just say that they're no, this is serious. Like, of course we should talk about, like you were just saying, like, but in Greece it was okay, like dragging it in that direction. It becomes kind of like a gateway drug to sort of be pro platform. And the question then becomes, like, is Ammon Hillman aware that he's doing this, or is he just sort of someone who stumbled into doing it, and then all the people who were gravitating to him and defending him, like, are they like just trying to prop up their man?
All the pedophiles are coming to defend him. You understand that's in the context of me defending him.
Yes.
I'm not defending him. You understand that, right? Like, that's slander. You understand that, right?
Listen to how he's framing. He's cognitively framing and undue influencing the position to not say, here's where Ammon's wrong in these texts, but to insert the unconscious idea or whatever else that Ammon is a pedophile who wants to bring pedophiles into the mainstream, and it's normal. And all of his other followers are like that too. That is literally propaganda 101 to get people to start killing each other. I'm not kidding, man.
This is what
dark shit.
This is what the right wing, this is what fascists do to brilliant thinkers like Foucault, right? This is what they do to anybody who does queer theory. This is what how they slander anybody who, you know, fights for trans rights. And here's the thing, Richard Carrier is queer, right? This isn't a straight guy that's giving you this critique right now.
It doesn't matter. He's greedy.
So I'm just tossing that out there, right? He's throwing Foucault out with with Medea's bathwater. So Galileo, Foucault, Henderson, Karl Ruck, Dover, Amy Richland, how many other scholars is Richard Carrier going to throw under the bus because, you know, he doesn't agree with Ammon Hillman about shit that he doesn't even have the fucking lexicon to be smart enough to know about?
Oh, he knows.
No, he does. He does not. I 100% guarantee you that if this makes it back to Richard Carrier, it will be his first time finding out about Henderson's book.
Period. Well, so here's the thing: I have the contact and the rate that he charges. Nah, homie. I have no king. But I would entertain that for sure.
What, me versus Richard Carrier?
How much?
A debate?
I think it's only like literally $175 an hour and a half.
$175
right now.
Yeah, I was I can do
I'll
that.
Donate.
It's just do I want to pay him?
Wait, hang on.
Or does he want to come on his own?
I'll give him a tip.
Let's say I debate Richard Carrier for 2 hours. It'll cost us
$300.
Well, more than 300.
325. Jesus Christ.
Bro, hey man, I'll dangle a 20 in front and be like, hey, if you do real good, you get this.
Here's the thing. I will donate money. I will match it and donate my portions to the same fucking charity. Like I really think that at this point I've sufficiently argued and supported the position that Ammon Hillman is very clearly a satirist and doing satire. Lady Babylon is satire. Like if it comes down to we got to do a formal debate, first of all, it's going to be heuristics on my side. I'm going to make this fucking asshole look like the dumbass that he is. I'm going to be setting up fucking snares. I'm going to be laying down rakes for this dumbass to step on throughout the entire thing. Just like if he were to debate Ammon Hillman. Here's the thing. I'm better at debating than Ammon Hillman is. I'm better at heuristics. I'm better at satire. I'm a better comedian than Ammon Hillman could ever be in his, if he could ever dream to be. Right?
No, you're your thing and he's his thing. He does.
Yeah. He has his PhD and his expertise. I have my expertise.
Not a contest.
It's not a contest. I'm just saying when it comes to it, you know, he's not as good of a comedian. He's not as good of a satirist as I am, and I can show you all of the sources that he's drawing from. Right.
Correct. Yeah.
So if it's not, you know, me versus versus Ammon on fucking Danny Jones for, you know, raising $5,000 for to get dog food for a homeless shelter. If Ammon's a cynic, I think he would appreciate that one. The fact that I'm not in it for the money. So we can take it big, but if it's only, you know, a couple $100 to make Richard Carrier look like an absolute fucking doofus, I shit $300, man. Fuck off, dude. Like I you know, I'll sit down and fucking some days and, you know, text one of my customers. And then next thing I know, by the time I wipe my ass, I'm $500 richer. So like, you know, it's not about the money for me, man. It's never been about the money. I have the same deal with the devil that Ammon does, right? I'm part of some of the same cults as Ammon is, you know what I mean? And I've done that thing where, you know, the Sibboleth, like, you know, how do you say this particular thing to see if you are part of the same cult? Like I've done that with Ammon, and he's part of something adjacent to some of the cults that I'm part of, but he's not part of any of the ones that I'm directly part of or initiated into. So, you know, he actually, you know, and the way that the satire relates to the cult, you know what I mean? And he's absolutely part of the Church of the Subgenius, and he's absolutely a Discordian. Do you guys know? Okay, so here's a little fucking wonderful nugget of information, the backstory with Ammon. Do you guys know what Ammon called the inner circle of like creators and comedians that Ammon curated early on when he was trying to put together the show and the concept. Do you guys know what he called that group?
Church.
He called that the Discordians.
Okay.
Do you know what a Discordian is?
I do not.
Well, a Discord.
No. So here, no, we're gonna do this live, guys. We're gonna do this live. Fuck the rest of this. I think we know where it goes. Can you pull up?
Yeah. Where's the text, guys?
Yeah.
Hey,
there's no text.
text.
So I'm just gonna show you guys when I'm gonna close on this, right? The inner cult, the inner circle, the spooky cult that was behind Ammon this whole time that I was part of was called the Discordians. Can you share your screen and pull up the Wikipedia page for Discordianism? Because this shit's gonna blow your fucking mind, right? And it's not a coincidence. It's not like Ammon was, oh, we're on Discord and you guys are the Discordians. That's funny. Like, no. He's making a direct reference to this Discordianism. Please, everybody, understand what Discordianism is. Anybody want to read this to the audience so that they understand what Discordianism is?
Discordian. Can you see that, bro? You can read it, Chase.
Okay, so Discordianism is a belief system based around Eris, the Greek goddess of strife and discord, and variously defined as a religion, new religious movement, virtual religion, or act of social commentary. Though prior to 2005, some sources categorized it as a parody religion. It was founded after the 1963 publication of its holy book, Principia Discordia, written by Greg Hill, Carrie Wendell Thornley, the two working under the pseudonyms Malaclips the Younger and Omar Khayyam Ravenhurst. Let's see. David Chidester considers Discordianism to be the first virtual religion and the first to take up the challenge of establishing its religious authenticity. When the Yahoo search engine categorized Discordianism as a parody religion in May 2001, Discordians started an email campaign to get the religion reclassified. It is difficult to estimate the number of Discordians because they are not required to hold Discordianism as their only belief system. According to Arthur Vesalius, Discordianism both shaped and reflects the counterculture of the 1960s and the 1970s.
So Discordianism is a satirical church that was created in the 1960s. You know, the hippie counterculture. It was created, guess where? In a bowling alley. Yeah. Right. Have you ever seen like the number 23 be like a recurring thing? Right. So anybody that uses the number 23 as like a recurring thing is a homage to Discordianism. Right. So do you know what lane they were bowling on in 23? The Big Lebowski? 23. Yes. Lane 23 is in the Big Lebowski. So the Big Lebowski, they're Discordians. Exactly. I'm sure if you scroll through this at some point, you will find number 23 as the lane that they're bowling on. So yeah, this Discordianism is one of these parody churches. It was created by, it was popularized by Robert Anton Wilson. Do you know who Robert Anton Wilson is?
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, Robert Anton Wilson, he was a editor for Playboy magazine. And what he did was curate all of these crazy fucking letters that people would write into Playboy magazine about conspiracy theories, and then ended up writing 3 books based on them, right? And has this completely satirical, absolutely crazy psychedelic church called Discordianism. Hail Eris, right? Hail Bob, praise Bob, obtain Slack, you know, all of this. And like, if you guys don't know what this is, there's a reason why you like aren't prepared to understand how funny some of Ammon's satire is, right? Like you're not even in on the joke, right? I've been initiated in Discordianism since I was 13, guys. This isn't new to me, right? So like it's new to you guys. You are just now, however, 36 and I don't know how old you are.
38.
38, you're in your
61.
30 something, right? You're 30 something and you're just now finding out about Discordianism. I found out about it when I was 13. So like to you know, be in this esoteric satire fucking cult like stuff, like guys, this isn't new to me. right? Like part of the reason that Ammon has been really popular is because he had the Discordian who invented Rick rolling as a Discordian joke. Every one of those little cassette tapes, those were a chaos apple that I was leaving at every punk room all across the fucking country, dude. I was leaving chaos apples. So if you don't think that Ammon is tossing chaos apples everywhere, you're an absolute fucking moron, dude. It's not a coincidence that he called his inner circle of satirists the Discordians. Right? Like you people do not know what you're talking about. Richard Carrier doesn't know what he's talking about. Like you should be embarrassed. I don't know. Anybody have any let's say closing thoughts or anything?
No, man, this has been great. We just hit 3 hours, so let's definitely wrap up. Chase, go ahead and tell us, anything on your mind. And
yeah, I still stand by the idea that
I'll be right back, by the way.
If everything Ammon says is like incorrect or whatever else, like where are your takedown videos that show the evidence and you break stuff down? I just haven't seen one. I know that there are detailed one. Not I'm talking about you, Mandy, but the angle that we're coming out with MythVision and them, like where are they? I know that there's like arguments over Neoniskos. That's it. I feel like that's all I've really heard. I mean, do you think that they watch his stuff at all? Or they just take one kind of summary from somebody, assume they know it, and they know what he's saying, and then just pile that onto everything because he's got so many videos and so many different rabbit holes and different things that connect. So I'm just curious, is like, where are they? Why are they so confident that like none of this picture is accurate? And I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's frustrating.
They're confident because that's what they were taught when the ones that have PhDs, at least, because I don't want to punch down on anybody that is disgruntled, former Ammonite or a weird old lady with autism in a British accent. I'm not going to punch down because Richard Carrier came after me, so now I get to punch up. I can't explain why those people in particular have such a problem with it, but they're just willing to repeat anything that a person that has some sort of authority tells them. You know what I mean? I'm not a person that has any authority. So if I tell them, hey, you should read Henderson because 87% of what Ammon says is right in that book, they'll go, Mandy Moorehol doesn't have a PhD. Richard Carrier has a PhD. I'm going to listen to Richard Carrier. Or they'll go, right, Mandy Moorehol doesn't know Greek. Cross Bible knows Greek. I'm going to repeat what Cross Bible says. Yes. And the book that I'm showing you is the Ammon's fucking Muse. 87% of his fucking work comes from that book, is written and designed for people who don't speak Greek. So it's dumb. It's designed for people who don't have PhDs, and it's designed for people who don't speak Greek. So Ammon is drawing from a source that you do not need a PhD or a fucking degree or any 10 years of experience reading Greek. All you got to do is read the fucking book. Right? You got to use the proper lexicon, right? Earlier on at the beginning of the show, I was saying that, it's the people are making this mistake of using the Webster dictionary when they should be using the Urban Dictionary. Like it's a dumb mistake, and nobody in their right mind would ever actually make that mistake. But when it comes to Greek, because it's a foreign language or it's really, really old, or you have to have a PhD to understand it, or their version of the Urban Dictionary, you go, they panic, or they're not even aware that there is a Greek version of the Urban Dictionary. Correct. And that's what Ammon's using for his fucking work, not the lexicon. You know what I mean? So not Alice. He's not using Alice. Alice is a fucking red herring, right? It's like, oh, if you want to learn about really cool, interesting stuff, go to Alice because it's a really cool source. If you want to understand about the weird shit that he's talking about, you have to use the proper lexicon, which is Henderson. Yeah. Right? Like it's a very simple, and
also, like, dude, if you told me, hey man, this is the temperature that water boils at, and I go, okay, cool, and then at that temperature the water boils, I don't but you don't have a science degree, I don't therefore go, actually, like, I don't believe you. if that makes any sense. Like, because you don't have a science degree or you don't have a degree in boiling water, then I'm not going to trust you. And this other person says it boils at 70 degrees. So I'm just going to repeat that. Like, do they not see the parallels of like how like apply the knowledge, if that makes any sense? Like I don't know, man.
Yeah,
Maybe it's
and
just me.
you know, I mean, there's a lot of mistakes that people are making, and it's very, very embarrassing. And it's the type of stuff that somebody with an undergrad in, you know, art credit, that anybody who takes art school as an undergrad or creative writing or any of that stuff is trained from the get to understand. You know what I mean? They teach undergrads, like freshmen in college, very stupid 18-year-old kids are taught about satire and the history of satire and all of that. Just because it's not taught in classics and it's taught in fucking creative writing courses, or it's taught in film critique, or it's taught in film school, doesn't mean that it doesn't draw from the classics. Like it directly draws from the classics. Anybody who goes film school is, you know, understands at least something about the classics because it all comes from that, right? Genealogically.
And it's all in our stories still. It's evoking, it's still traveling and echoing through our great stories. Yeah.
Exactly. You know, and this is, so it's just like basically the point that I want to make, and, you know, the take home that I want anybody who sees this, you know, to really drive home is that, you know, just because you don't like Ammon doesn't mean you have liberty or license to throw away valid scholarship, right? And throughout the last 3 years, all I have been seeing is people throwing out perfectly valid scholarship because they have a disdain for what Ammon Hillman is saying. And they're only just now finding out that it's a possibility that he's doing satire. And I've known this for 3 years, and I was the guy that was in the room giving him jokes when he only had 50 fucking subscribers. Right. So like, you know, just how within this community, everybody knows the proper response when somebody says neologism.
You made you say jism.
Nailed it. So everybody now knows this. You know, when Ammon first started, we had the Hecka teapot, right? The Hecka teapot. Can you see the teapot? Look at the teapot. Do you see the teapot back there?
Yeah.
All right. That is the exact same teapot that Ammon has on his fucking stove when he does his shows. And the joke from the very beginning was the Hecka teapot. So in the chat, you would toss 3 teapots. 1, 2, 3. 3 teapots, right? Hecate has, you know, she's a triform goddess. So is the Hecka teapot. Right. And that's why it is still on the show to this day, is because I created an in-group dynamic for everybody that was in early on. Right. Everybody that was in there in the Hecka teapot days is in on the joke and can recognize it. Right. All of the Hail Satans. Right. That's all satire. Right. All of that stuff. Right.
Yeah.
So, you know, and especially if you know, you're a linguist or an academic who understands language, you will actually appreciate the fact that when Ammon is abandoning the text, he abandons sight and hearing, and goes to aroma, because aroma is purely poetic. You cannot smell the thing in itself. Period, plain and simple. Right? The fart is not the turd. The map is not the territory. The meal is not the menu, right? This is basic linguistics, guys. This is stuff that was settled 75 fucking years ago, dude. So if you're out there making arguments that, you know, the fart is the turd, or the meal is the menu, or the map is the territory, like Richard Carrier is, you're a fucking dullard. You're out of your fucking depth. You're in over your head, dude. Like, it's embarrassing.
So guys, posted below, it's in the comments, is one of Chase's movies. Somebody was asking, show me one movie Chase's directed. So.
Yeah. So just a quick thing on that. Movies are high risk ventures. I'm poor as fuck, always have been, and I made that when I was 27. I wish I would have made a horror comedy now because I wrote a lot of those afterwards. But for coming out of as a '90s kid, I wanted to make a serious movie, and I got caught up with a lot of veteran friends, and so we made that movie for 20 grand, which is peanuts, and it was in 2000, I guess 11. We shot it, and it was an absolute insane. I don't know how we came out with watchable footage. Ended up doing pretty good. Traveled around different festivals. However, the markets were changing from VHS and all those other different revenue streams, BCD markets, to streaming and platforms. And obviously, I'm not very good at being on social media. I don't like it. And you can see how bombastic I can be in person because I was doing it tonight. And I just don't care about branding and all that other shit. So I kind of fell by the wayside in terms of becoming a marketable thing, I think. But also, it's just a brutal industry. Met a lot of talented people that are all, cutting hair, waiting tables and stuff. So that's kind of where I landed. The skills are still there, but the ability to execute stuff like that is very it's very costly in a lot of ways. So I haven't been able to fully pull together something else yet. So yeah, that's the full feature I directed. And I directed some shorts and some other stuff, but that's the one that's like, pretty watchable and stuff.
Yeah. It's good. Definitely from a guy who's been deployed and stuff, I can definitely, relate to the story. I think you guys would like it. Guys,
which doctor? Cut the feed. Real quick, I want to end on that text message that I just sent you, which is if for everybody that wants to question my comedic bona fides and all of that, I actually do stand-up comedy. I've been doing stand-up comedy since I was 16 fucking years old, sneaking into open mics and shit at 21 plus bars. But it's a good thing about being a little punk rocker who's in the community. I can sneak into bars and do a couple of minutes, 5-6 minutes of stand-up comedy, and I've been doing that since I was a goddamn child. And Mandy Moorehol is just one of the names that I've been using to do this stuff. But I've done stand-up comedy in most states, and I've never been paid to do it. But I have a couple of jokes and stuff that are posted. So I sent Witch Doctor one of them, and I would love to if we can close on it, let's play that and then cut it so that everybody knows I'm actually the guy here that understands how to do comedy. And if Richard Carrier wants to use his fucking aesthetic critique skills to criticize my humor and see how funny of a humorist and wordsmith and witmeister and joke creator I am, you've stepped in a pile of shit here, buddy. So I just want to thank
Mandy, I really appreciate you. I've always appreciated your wit, and I do find you funny and entertaining and extremely insightful and academic minded and all kinds of stuff. So just keep being the thing, buddy, because you are the thing.
I mean, and also, I've got the Towel of Minerva, my book. The next volume is coming out here in the next 3 weeks. We're gonna do a book release party, just like we did with the other ones before that. And then we're going to take all 5 volumes and compile them into a hardcover, just like book 1. So, you can use promo code Witch Doctor at Scoby1 store shop.com or whatever the fuck it is. Use Witch Doctor at checkout to make a donation to the Buy Marcel's Broke Ass a Sandwich Fund. I think currently there's about $12 in the Buy Marcel a Sandwich Fund. So, I'm not such a bad guy. I'm an asshole. But, if, it helps some people buy themselves a sandwich, even Marcel, nose picking douchebag that he is, he was willing to, he's willing to at least, know what I'm saying isn't bullshit. So, if you want to buy Marcel a sandwich so he can keep his fingers out of his fucking nose, you can go to my brother's store and buy a signed copy of the book, or you can get it on Amazon if you want. I don't make money off of it. Like I said, any money that I make gets donated to buy dog food for the homeless. I literally buy bags of dog food and I give him the Sketch to Cataclysm for his charity for Hip Hop for the Homeless. So any money that I make doing this, if you buy a hat because you like 5-panel hat, you can buy that. The money goes to buy dog food for the homeless guys. I'm not, I'm a cynic. I'm not a fucking, greedmeister or anything. I make plenty of money with my farm. I don't need to make money with my comedy. So just trying to remind everybody the goal of all this, the goal of Ammon, the goal of anybody who is a serious satirist is first to make Demeter laugh. right? If you're not trying to make Demeter laugh, you are trying against the world, and you're advocating for genocide, plain and simple. So, you want to, toss around pedophile and all of that shit. If you aren't actively trying to make Demeter laugh, you're advocating for genocide. Fuck you. Free Palestine. Play the joke. Good night, everybody.
Also, thank you, Witch Doctor. You're the man.
Have been a disaster for the human race. I didn't know anybody could hate 9-inch nails so much. I like you guys. That's fun. A lot of people don't understand why that joke is funnier than Bob's.
Hail Satan.
Oh yeah. Well, guys,
that's a Ted Kaczynski joke for you dullards.
For thank everybody, I'm gonna go ahead and cut us out, but I want to appreciate everybody. Thank you, Mandy, for coming on the show. Been meaning to have a second episode. Chase, thanks for coming in, filling in as co-host. Towel of Minerva. Everybody, time to go to bed. We'll see y'all then.